What's good, everyone? It's me, Vick3, here coming to you live doing the post-game panel show. Shortly, I'll be joined by my guest. But yeah, man, let's get into it, man. It's been a rough day. We came away with a loss today. We thought, we had an opportunity to come out with a win. We saw early on, our offense looked great, but after that first series, it was downhill. The whole day from there on wasn't very good. Our star running back, Miles Sanders, is out. We don't know the severity of the injury. It looks like Lane might be out also. We don't know the severity of his injury also. There's a lot of things up in the air. Our coaching staff didn't come out and put their best foot forward again for another week in a row. Still not putting in players in the best positions. We're still not doing the things that, we said we were going to do. Today, we did one thing that we didn't do in the past, and that's run the ball. And when we did, we looked great. But again, we ran away from that very early on. Let's start this off then. I'm going to hit you off with my initial reactions because, I'm pretty sure everybody's having a tough time dealing with this right now. But yeah. Coach Sirianni, it starts off with you, my guy. We come into the game, like I said, we started off great. You came out, gave the ball to Miles. He had a great first series. We were rewarded with a touchdown, which was awesome. But then when we continue on, defense, their first play, you make a bonehead decision. On third down, you decide to correctly at first take the down, so that way it was fourth down in first quarter, and you end up coming back and making a decision by taking the yards. And by doing that, you gave the Raiders a chance to come back, in which they did. It was a strike to Zay Jones, which was to be honest, man, that was a good ball. Their car looked great out there today, and that was all because of the way our defense had played. Like I said, we came out in the beginning, we came out hard, we came out strong, but that play took us out. It literally took us out of the game. Our front four at first, they came out hard. They came out with some tenacity. You got to give it up to Hargraves and Sweat. They created pressure early on. But then, like I said, after that, it was kind of ghost. We ran the ball, like I said, start looked great. We scored. First quarter, defense, like I said, we blew it up on that call. We put ourselves in a hole when we didn't need to. Again, like I said, they followed that up with a strike to Zay Jones. But luckily enough, in the end, in the red zone, Avonte Maddox came through with an interception. He made a little quick decision to go backwards. That wasn't very smart. But again, we got the ball. And from there, that's why I think, it turned wrong. We were in the shotgun. We avoided the run more. And when we did run the ball, that's when our running back went down with an injury in Miles Sanders. And, that was very costly because we've seen when Miles gets the ball, he can work. He can get you those yards. He's that guy, but can't do anything if you're not feeding him the ball. And then, like I said, when we did, he got injured. We don't know the severity of the injury. It's kind of upsetting. Hopefully, he can come back next week and be that guy that we need. Sirianni can continue running the ball. But let's keep on focusing on today. Looks like tackling on the defensive side of the ball, that was a big issue. There was a lot of missed tackles. Alex Singleton, again, he's a doormat constantly. He's the guy making the plays, yeah, but that's because everyone keeps on running into him. It's sad, and there's some times where I see him after a play, he's out there flexing like he did something. Again, man, you're a doormat. Calm it down. Understand where you're at in the game, and we weren't in a good position for anyone to be flexing today. Second quarter, man, we have an experienced running back in Boston Scott. For better or for worse, he's our second guy. I don't know why Gainwell let forward in front of him. That's a decision that, again, that's all in the coaching staff. But, we had an experience with Boston Scott. He's been here before. He's led this team before last season. And we decided to give Kenneth Gainwell the ball, and he ends up fumbling it. We had an opportunity to get 6 on the board. Ends up Gainwell fumbles the ball, gives it back. But if I'm not mistaken, after that, we got a good dose of Boston Scott, which was a benefit to our team. Again, Kenneth Gainwell is a rookie. He has a lot of talent, a lot of upside, but he's not in a position right now to be leading this team. He shouldn't be our lead back at the moment. I mean, he has issues running the ball. Great receiving, running the ball, that's another story. Second quarter, man. Like I said, that was in the second quarter when we had that issue with Gainwell's fumble and Boston Scott took over. But in the second quarter, our coach decides to do an onside kick, which it looked like it would have worked had it not been for Jake Elliott falling right in front of the ball, before the Raiders got it. So, it was a good decision on one end, but it was just poorly executed. You could say Elliott tripped, he fell, if it wasn't for that, he would have got the ball back. But again, they rolled the dice and they came up with snake eyes. And yeah, that is a pun for Vegas. In the third quarter, man, we seen Henry Ruggs early on. It was going to be a good matchup. We seen him going against Nelson. We seen him matched up against Slay. For the most part, he was kept quiet, but there were some plays where he stood out. You know what I mean? Like there was a nice ball thrown to him, nice bomb thrown to Ruggs, but luckily it was called back. There was a penalty on the play, but that was followed up still with a first down with a pass to the tight end. You know what I mean? It's like we couldn't win. Even though when we got a gain, we still got a loss. Going forward, man, we're still in the third quarter. It looks like our coach was grasping at straws. He didn't know what to do. There were no good second half adjustments. We came out flat. Again, we looked good running the ball, and then we avert that, and then we go back to passing. We're stuck in the shotgun. We're running RPO plays. When you've seen, there was a couple of plays that Jalen Hurts could have really been hurt out there. You know what I mean? Like he kept the ball. He almost got his head taken off in one play. It was very bad. You got to understand when you're running the RPO, it's okay to give the running back the ball. You don't always necessarily need to keep it. You don't need to be the guy making the first down or getting the extra yards. Give the running back a chance. You know what I mean? Again, we went in with after that play, actually, we followed that up with a bad penalty from Jason Kelce, which is something that's never seen from him before. He took his helmet off. He lost his temper. It looks like the whole team pretty much was hot at the head. You know what I mean? Like they were losing. It looks like, the Raiders had all the intensity. The Eagles didn't. They didn't come out to play. There was a lot of frustration. Kelce couldn't handle it. He got a penalty and you could tell he was upset, but, he instantly regretted it, which, any player in his position would. But, we got to do better with that. Even though we're in the position that we were and we're losing, we can't have any hot-headed plays where we're getting frustrated and taking our helmets off on the field. A guy with your experience and, playing as long as you have been, you should know better than that. I mean, you're, for all intents and purposes, you're the captain of this team. You're the guy this team actually looks to. I mean, you're the heart of the team. So if you're out of line, what do you think the rest of the guys are going to be? I mean, for Kelce, you got to rein that in. It wasn't a good sight. Blonde hair and all. Right after that, man, looks like Jake Elliott having issues again with the extra point, muffs it and hits the upright. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the Raiders did also. But again, they're already up. We need all the points we can get. Elliott needs to clean that up on the extra points. Yeah, as I mentioned, Hurts on that RPO play. That's serious, man. You got to be careful with what you're doing. You got to, take care of the ball, but also you got to give what the defense is giving you. You got to take what the defense is giving you, I should say. Again, I shouldn't see you holding onto the ball on every RPO play. It's wild, my guy. And a shocking thing to me, which I didn't even realize, but Dallas Goedert, again, we've talked about this before where we're misusing players. Dallas Goedert was a big play that was misused today. It was the third quarter when he received his second catch. And it was a great catch. He gave a strong stiff arm, took the defender down. He wasn't having none of that. So, it was good on him. But again, why are we waiting to the third quarter to get our tight ends involved? Why are we not starting off the game as we did running the ball? But again, if you look at the tape, the middle of the field was vulnerable. It was open. That's where you get your tight ends. Maybe throw, a slant pass to Rager. Get Watkins involved because that was another guy who wasn't involved early. It was probably the third quarter, fourth quarter when he finally got in the game. And even though it wasn't looking great, what's good, BLSG? How we doing today?
What's going on, man? I'm not happy about that Eagles game at all, bro. And I don't want to talk about that Eagles game either. So I'm watching them Sixers tonight, as you can probably tell.
Oh, you getting your mind off with the Sixers? That's how we're doing it?
Yeah, bro.
But
Yeah, bro.
hey man, let me get that raw reaction. What did you think overall about this game, about the coaching staff, about the players? Let me get that heat.
It was just really sloppy, bro. And you know what I'm getting tired of? Even though Miles Sanders was out, we never had a lot of opportunities to run the ball with him. So there's no excuse about not running the ball with Sanders because he got hurt. All right. But what I'm sick and tired of is us so we're down so much in the first three quarters and in the beginning of the fourth. But right in the middle of the fourth quarter, we start to score and we start to look like a playoff team. What are we doing in garbage time? Why can't we do this in the first three quarters? Why do we gotta wait till the fourth to do this? What are we waiting on? What are we waiting to execute for? Why can't we do this in the beginning? Why can't we just do this in the start? Why do we gotta do it in the finish?
Yeah.
It's getting old, Vic. It's getting old, man.
It's getting extremely old. I had a conversation before in the game where we were just talking about it was brought up. Why is it that we're waiting to the fourth quarter to start a comeback? Why isn't it that we're not doing the things we're doing in the fourth quarter in the first? And it's just when all else fails, that's when Nick Sirianni, it's he gets on his game. But again, it's a little too late for when we do those antics. It's a little too late, too short, too late, however that saying goes. But we need to get on the ball earlier, for all intents and purposes, no pun intended. But yeah, once the first quarter starts, we need to get the guys, going. We can't constantly feed Smith the ball and then have Hurts, just running for his life out there, or Hurts taking too long and then running the ball. It's ridiculous at this point. I was talking earlier about the first quarter and how I felt that the game went downhill when Nick Sirianni made the decision to take the yards instead of the down on that penalty. Do you agree?
Yeah, take the yards instead of the down on the play. I 100% agree.
And it was wild because at first he makes the decision, he was yeah, let me just get the down. It's fourth down. The punt unit's on the field. And for whatever reason, he still second-guessed himself and just took the yards. I constantly bring up the fact that I want to see improvement every week from the coaching staff and the players. I've yet to see that on both ends.
Same.
Coaching staff, hot start in Atlanta, but it was an Atlanta team that was playing badly and they still continue to play badly. But we haven't progressed on that coaching side. Jalen Hurts, first 3 games, great. Every game after that, there's been an issue. Something constantly comes up.
There's been a huge issue with Jalen Hurts. He hasn't gotten his act together. The first 3, he performed great. Performed great against Atlanta, great against San Francisco, and great against Dallas. He did good there. But when it came down to the next few, the Chiefs, I thought he didn't do too bad, but he didn't put up the best effort in the Chiefs game. Panthers, he had to start a big comeback in the fourth quarter. And then in Tampa Bay, there was just no chance at all. So, and then we come into week 7, we struggle, and Jalen Hurts has yet to do what we did see since weeks 1 through 3. And if Jalen Hurts keeps playing like that, and if the coaching staff keeps coaching like that, what are our chances of beating the Lions next week?
Yeah, you got to think about that. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think that because of the situation, the position that we were in, do you think Jalen Hurts is trying too hard? Or is it the fact that that's just Jalen's game? That's just what we're going to see out of Jalen?
Jalen Hurts is just trying to do what he can to get the ball out. Last year with Carson Wentz, when it comes to trying to get out of the pocket, Carson Wentz was barely able to do that because he couldn't run as fast as Jalen. Carson Wentz was not as mobile of a quarterback as Jalen Hurts is right now. Jalen Hurts can run out of the pocket, but Carson Wentz can at the end of the day. So, honestly, when it comes to Jalen Hurts and in terms of him getting out of the pocket, Jalen Hurts has the advantage on that over Carson Wentz. Now, in terms of the pass game, when we need to start early, I felt like Carson Wentz honestly had the advantage. There were a few games where Carson Wentz would take too long to throw the ball and he wouldn't get the ball out. But Jalen Hurts, keep in mind, he hasn't played a full season yet. This is only, like, I think his 11th game, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is only his 11th game. He doesn't have a full season under his belt. So, honestly, and this is a very young team, too. So, Jalen Hurts is still learning the playbook. He's still learning the coaching's plays. He's still learning Nick Sirianni's plays. And he's still getting used to the whole system because he doesn't have a whole season under his belt, unlike some of these other QBs, like some second-year QBs or some of these third-year QBs that have had opportunities to play a full season and have had the opportunities to just go out there and put on their fight.
Yeah, totally agree. Hunter, my guy, what's going on, man? Appreciate you for coming through.
Hunter, my guy.
What's going on, y'all? Not feeling too good right now. I'm pretty disappointed. I thought we would put up a fight in this game. So I didn't think we were going to win, but I did think we were going to come out a little more prepared. So I'm disappointed.
Yeah, and what do you think on the coaching side? What do you think about Nick Sirianni's play calling, his decision making? What are your thoughts?
I mean, first drive it looked good. Obviously, the scripted drive worked pretty well, and they had 10 days to prepare for it, which kind of helps. I thought they ran the ball well and effectively. They got under center and ran it finally, which is I feel like I've been saying that for a long time. And but then, when Miles goes out, they try to use Kenny under center. Kenny's not really an under center type of running back. The wide receivers couldn't really get much separation. Jalen, I just did not think – I just think it's getting a little frustrating with Jalen because I feel like we're not seeing much progression with his mistakes. I feel like we're seeing him continue to pass up open receivers underneath, continuing to bail out of the pocket a little too early, bail out of the pocket when he, could just sit in there. And I'm not saying the pocket was too clean today. It wasn't, but I felt like Jalen left a lot of plays out there with, that could have been made and a lot more to be desired. But, I don't think the play calling helped them either. I think they definitely did not play call very well and could have done a lot more. But yeah, I mean, I think it was an all-around just failure. I mean, the big thing to me that just sticks out is, look, that defense just continued to go the same way the whole game. I mean, they kept going with the too high look and did not move away from their philosophy, did not try to send any pressure to combat what the Raiders were doing, did not try to put any extra guys in the box to stop the run. Of course, one of the worst run offenses gets going against our linebackers. But and then just the simple mistakes. I mean, drops, fumbles, penalties. Like every time it seems like we get something going a little bit, it's just one step forward, 10 steps backwards. Like we finally get down to the goal line and, I don't know if Driscoll tipped it or what happened, but, snap is botched and then the Raiders recover, right? And, we got a completion, I think, to Hurt or to Smith at one point or something like that, and then it gets called back for a penalty. Just like little things like that. Just like you're not going to win football games this way. And look, the Lions are a competitive team. They have competed in almost every game except probably the Bengals game last week. So they could absolutely, I would say they'd probably be favored against us. Hey, I mean, if the Dolphins lose and they beat us, we're in the first pick category. So we got that. Maybe we get Kayvon Thibodeau up in there. But, I mean, yeah, point being, overall collapse, overall failure from all angles you look at it. And, can point fingers all we want, but I think everyone shares a little bit of the blame and definitely some guys more than others. But, everyone's got to look in the mirror after this loss and say, what can I do better?
Oh, definitely. Now, let me ask you a follow-up question to that. Do you think Sirianni was outcoached today?
I mean, look, the penalties and the fumbles and these types of mistakes and Jalen not reading the field sometimes, obviously there is a sense of these guys got to go out and execute, but it is a reflection of coaching at the end of the day. Like coaching does play a big part in that. And you know what? They've got to coach better. It's not going to cut it when you're out there, when you're leading the league in penalties and you continue to see that problem transpire over weeks upon weeks upon weeks. That is a reflection upon you as a coach too. So the coaching, he definitely got outcoached. He's been outcoached pretty much every week. I mean, outside of when Sam Darnold kind of helped us out a couple weeks ago and Gannon had an all right game in terms of play calling, we have not played well. And sure, is there a lack of personnel? I mean, yeah, there is. But you can't use that excuse, and you want to see these guys at least show some type of improvement or at least some adjustment in their philosophy on both sides of the ball. We have not seen that. So I think it is absolutely a failure from a coaching aspect.
I totally agree with you 1,000%. Hey, man, Papa Sora, Big Play Slay, what's going on, my guys? I appreciate you for coming through. As I asked the previous two gentlemen, let me get your raw reactions, man. What did you think about the game, about the players, about the coaching? Let it off your chest.
Slay, go ahead. You take it first.
Yeah. What? What was the question? My bad.
Now I was asking, what is your raw reaction on today's game? The coaching staff, the players, everything. Let me hear it.
First of all, I just want to say, what's up, Hunter? It's been a minute, but
Facts.
Quit avoiding the question.
But this team is just a rebuilding team. And you knew this was gonna happen if you just looked at the team in general at the start of the season. You could have expected a win against Atlanta, but just based off of the team, just based off of the way that the team is built, it's just not good. And I think it's a mix of everything: coaching, the play, and the people making the decisions, and then the results start coming after. So what I would do is sell the team, fire Howie. I would just sell the team if I were Jeffrey.
I got 5 pennies.
Sell the team, fire Howie, fire Nick.
I'd sell the team and then fire Howie Roseman at the end of the season.
$3. Take it or leave it.
You definitely have to fire Jonathan Gannon. He is a guy that's really pissing me off. No blitzing.
I feel like we should just bring Jim Schwartz back.
No, that's how bad he is as a defensive coordinator.
My plan is to watch a bunch of Frankensteins, including Frankenweenie, find a way to bring Buddy Ryan back to life and just make him look as human as possible.
I'm sorry, but Jonathan Gannon is not the defensive coordinator that the NFL needs nowadays. He's just not the defensive coordinator you want. He's not a blitzer at all.
He's not the coordinator we need. He's the coordinator we just did. So what you said. That
What's good, AK? Man. Thank you for coming through, my guy.
No problem, Mike, man. What's going on, man?
The way your voice is
this tough loss.
I could tell you were pissed off.
That man's been drinking.
AK, I know.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to drink because I got to work tonight, so drinking was not at all.
You got the night shift.
Let me get that
drinking
uncut
is off the table.
Motion,
what's that?
I said, let me get that raw, uncut emotion. How do you feel about today's game, the coaching staff, and the players?
Just give me a minute here. I'm making a few cigarettes real fast, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this without being totally disrespectful. So, give me...
Listen. On this channel, I want all the disrespect. It's deserved today. It's deserved.
If you want it, just give me a few minutes. You guys finish up what you were talking about here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let you uncensored smoke some cigarettes real quick.
Papa, what did you think?
So, my raw reaction, as I'm getting the notification that my watch is dying, my raw reaction was, I looked at my father, and I said, Father? He said, yes, son? I said, I'm going to go upstairs, and I'm going to commit toaster bath. And he said, good luck with that, because we don't even have a toaster. What in the actual fuck are we doing? What is, and I never say I'm not a man of my words, because I went straight into the Discord chat, and Big Play, you can prove me on this. I went to Infamous 2K, the infamous Jalen Hurts hater. I said, never say I'm not a man of my words, bro. I was wrong. You were right. At this point, I'm ready to just see what, not Dallas Cotter. I'm ready to see what Gardner Minshew has. I have, and I'm not even blaming this loss all on Jalen, but he was not good today. Accepting the penalty, making it 3rd and 15, and then it was a 40-yard catch. Starting the half with the onside kick, I can't even be excited that we might possibly have literally 2 picks in the top 3 thanks to us in Miami with Howie Roseman as the general manager. What are we gonna do? We're gonna pick Sarah Fuller and who else? One Arm Willie or whatever.
We better
If
take
I
Kayvon
were-
Thibodeau
If I
away.
were Landon Dickerson, I would not go to Philadelphia again. Someone's throwing hands on him. I'm telling you, if he goes back to Philadelphia, someone's swinging on him. The way he's
It was-
playing, bro. Oh,
It was wild, but the one of the things that I didn't like to see was when you see a veteran in Jason Kelsey, he lost it today. You seen him took the helmet off. The whole team. It looked for me. This is my opinion. I seriously think Sirianni is losing this team already.
Dude, Sirianni's going to get fired at the end of the season.
Playing, you can't tell me that he has this team, because no coach who has a team would react the way they did. They reacted the way they did because they were pissed off that they were losing. Oakland came in here and they carried their intensity. We only had a first series of intensity. You can't even say the defensive first series they came out with force. Yeah, we got that interception, but that was just a small light in a dark spot.
That was what, his only incompletion?
I think he ended up with 3
like
incompletions. It was
Yeah.
23 for 26, 341 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 INT. That's a good fucking game. Aside for the interception, that's a great fucking game for Derek Carr. For anyone.
3 incompletions only? Are you kidding me?
And you know what? We knew coming into this game that you're going to have to get pressure on Carr, because the difference between him and obviously every quarterback is worse under pressure, but for Derek Carr, it affects how he sees the field. He is much more conservative when he's getting a little bit of pressure in his face. And when he gets knocked once, he plays a lot different, and he's not that same risk taker that throws that ball in that 3rd and 15 and gives his guy a chance. He doesn't usually do that when he's under pressure. And that's another thing. Like, our guys did not get pressure. Our front four didn't. And then Jonathan Gannon doesn't adjust and send some extra guys here and there. So,
Yeah, exactly.
The first quarter, you had Sweat and you had, Hargrave creating pressure, and you saw it. Derek Carr was scared. He ran out the pocket. He was making bad decisions. But we didn't keep that up. And that's what I don't understand about this coaching. When you see something that works, why aren't you continually doing that? Why do you switch it up like, oh, I know what else we could do, and then it ends up failing? I don't understand that mentality.
Yeah.
I see my guy Stoic on the bottom below me. AK, are we ready?
As the smoke
First off, I want to say this. If you go into Detroit next week and you play like this,
my guy, I'm giving you the single.
You're fucked.
Give him the floor.
Instantly. Okay. Like after today, man, like sell everyone. Sell them all. All our vets, Cox, all of them. Get them gone. Don't want them anymore. No lie. And that's not all on them. This is just, to me, you got to rebuild this thing now. You got to tear it all down. That starts from Howie all the way down to Nick. Fire them all. Get them all gone. If it's up to me, dude, you fire Nick. You let Steichen finish out the season, and then you go after like Joe Brady or something like that. Someone who didn't get taken last year. Someone who is more equipped of handling this. I'm not going to say all our offensive struggles are on Jalen Hurts or on this offense. Some of it is coaching. Some of it is just shitty, reading out there on the field. Hurts could hand the ball off plenty of times, but he doesn't. So, I don't really truly know. I can't pinpoint it or put a finger on what is going on right now. But this fucking team is trash. Straight trash. I mean, I haven't seen a team like this in a long time look this bad for us. I actually don't even want to be wearing my Eagles shit right now. It's that bad.
You should be wearing your Bulls gear, man.
Hey, let me ask you a question. It's a follow-up to last night's conversation we had. When I told you, I see no issue with drafting a quarterback in this upcoming draft if Hurts does not improve. And currently, he has not. Has your thought changed on that? Has anything been changed on that?
On what?
On drafting a quarterback this upcoming draft, if Hurts continues the way he's going.
No, my Hurts prediction still stands the same, man. Listen, this kid is a project. He's always been a project. He was a project coming out of college. We all knew that. Everyone knows that. You kind of have to look at Justin or Jalen Hurts as Lamar Jackson or even Russell Wilson his first couple of years. You have to let these guys develop. You know, none of them were pure passers in the pocket when they first started. You know, they were more scramblers throwing on the run. Can he do it? I believe he can. He has the drive, the dedication, and the motivation to be great. But you have to get this kid the right coach. And I'm sorry, man, but Nick Sirianni's not the right coach. I mean, you come out the first drive, you're under center, you run the ball, you score a touchdown, and then you go back to your same stupid shit you've been doing the first 6 weeks. You know, you completely just the and that onside kick, you know, at the beginning of the second half. Jake Elliott could have fucking had that ball, man. Instead of sliding, just grab the fucking ball and run, you piece of shit. Like, holy crap, what the fuck are you sliding for? This isn't baseball. Grab the fucking ball. You're the one that kicked the motherfucker. Are you serious? Like,
Well,
Jesus
that play
Christ, what are we fucking doing, man? I don't
That play's
understand
heartbreaking.
this.
When you look at the replay, you see Elliott did everything right. But for
Dude,
whatever
he could have
reason,
fucking had
a
the
step or
ball.
two.
All he had to do was stand up. Just stay
Dude, I
standing
agree.
and pick it up. I don't understand. What the fuck are we doing?
If
Like,
he
you
didn't
don't
lose his
run the
footing,
ball.
if he got
The
one
only
extra
time-
step, he would have had the ball. It looks like he just lost his footing. It looked like a calamity of fucking errors, but yeah, he lost his footing. He just needed one
Bro, he
extra step.
didn't lose
Ridiculous.
his footing. He fucking
But-
slid. There was no loss of footing whatsoever. He fucking slid.
But I'll ask this: was it the
Give
right
Papa
choice to
Store
make?
the floor.
Was it the
It
right
wasn't
choice
the
to
right
make?
call either. I wouldn't have called an onside kick like that. Fuck no. No.
Yeah,
It was 17-7. You gave them the fucking a way bigger lead by doing an onside kick right off the bat.
agreed.
I mean, when they scored that touchdown after that onside kick, you might as well have just shot them all in the fucking head. It was done. No
Yeah.
lie.
Vic, give Papa Store the floor. He's got the board out, and you know what it means,
Oh,
bro.
that's what that was. I was wondering what it is. But hold on, before I do that,
You
I
know
just
what
wanna
it
say,
means,
what's up,
Vic.
Jordy? Thank
you
you
already
for
know what
coming
it
through, my
means.
guy. I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. I just got back from a trip,
Working.
so
Oh.
figured I may as well jump on for a little bit.
I
Oh, man,
feel
thank you
so
for coming
bad for
through.
you, Jordy. I'm sorry
Why?
that you came off of a trip and you had to see this. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, did Notre Dame lose? I didn't.
no,
What
but
happened here?
I was like, oh yeah, this weekend will be great, and then Philadelphia does this. It's so disappointing.
Yeah, we heard from everyone else, so let me get your raw reaction on the game. What did you think of the coaching staff, the players, everything? What did you think?
At this point, I think if this continues down this road, it's time to blow some things up. Howie is starting to become a problem, and whether that be
Starting?
through Lurie or
It
what
was
have
already
you,
a problem.
Starting.
Been a problem.
Hold on, let Jordy talk.
Yeah, let him go.
and Hurts, as good as he is at times, he makes some mistakes here and there. And can it be fixed? Yes, but when the team around him is doing so bad and he continues to do it as a leader, it doesn't help. And when it comes down to it, now I'm thinking next year, even though it's a weak class, it may not be a bad idea to get a guy in a later round, mid-round, just to develop in case you may need to move on from Hurts. Because if he continues like this, he's not the answer. I mean, we thought Wentz was the answer through 2 years, and look how that turned out. So anything can happen, and I think now would be the perfect time to get a backup plan. But that's a whole different discussion for when the draft comes around. The rest of the team's making mistakes, and part of that's play calling, part of that's execution. We've been seeing this all year. It needs to stop if we want to win games. We've got the Lions, who actually competed with the Rams at some point. So, I mean, the Lions aren't a good team, but at the end of the day, if we play like this, we're not much better. And
They play way better than us.
I
Hey, they
think
play with
yeah.
heart. They play with a lot
They
of heart.
play
They play
way
with a lot of
fucking
passion.
better than us.
Listen,
The
I'm
Lions
not a Jared
don't
Goff
show
fan,
it, but they
but
play
I think this
way
is one of
better.
his better seasons. Even though he might not end up starting the rest of the season, this is one of his better seasons. He's looked
I
better
think-
than when he's done in LA.
I
And that's
think-
all attributed to Dan Campbell. You know what I mean? You got to give that coach some credit. Even though they're not playing, they're playing hard. You know, they're losing close games. The guy is on TV crying for his fucking team. You know what I mean? Like, he's putting his heart out there for that team. And even though they're losing, and maybe they're not like every other team in the NFL where they have the right coaches, that team is playing their fucking hearts out for that guy. And we're not doing that for Sirianni. I can tell you that right now. This team is not doing that for Sirianni.
We should have hired Dan Campbell. That's what we should have hired.
I'm telling you.
We should have
I'll
hired
say
him.
this. I don't
We
think
should have got
Campbell will be
Joe
around.
Brady or Josh McDaniels. I'm
I
telling
don't know
you.
about McDaniels, but Joe Brady sounds good. But I don't know if Campbell will stay around. With Detroit, they usually stick with their guys for a while. But if they were to let him go, I don't care if he's a tight end coach, whatever. I'm making a spot for him on my team. I want his energy on my team, no matter what team it is. I don't care who it is. You want a guy like that on your squad. You need a guy like that.
I'm just going to throw this out here, Vic. If we fire Nick this year, there's only one guy I want coaching this team next year. And I know it's going to be crazy. Some people are going to scratch their head, but some people know why I mean it. I want fucking Lovie Smith. I said it last year, and I'll say it again this year. Dude, look what he's done for that Texans defense already. And they have no one. I mean, he is a good fucking coach, and players want to play for him. He has good defenses, and that's what we need. And then you can just have an offensive coordinator because he don't call plays. We need somebody with a defensive mind and somebody who is an offensive coordinator who can just fucking call plays, like Steichen.
I love Lovie, but I see Lovie like Dan Campbell.
Dan Mullen,
he got the guys
his
playing for him,
contract may not
but
be
he doesn't
looking
have the
good.
X's and
So
O's.
Dale Martindale.
I can't hear
If
you.
he's our defensive coordinator, I'm totally for it. I'm on board.
Dale
If you bring Lovie Smith as our defensive coordinator, I'm totally on board.
That's
As
what
a
I'm
head
saying.
coach,
Bring him in as a head coach. Let him be the defensive coordinator, and then let Lovie just hire an offensive coordinator to run the offense. That's the perfect thing you can fucking do right now. I'm telling you, Lovie Smith would turn this defense around, and this defense would fucking play good under Lovie Smith.
Yeah. I kind of alluded to it earlier, but let me just get everyone's opinion. I have it down at the bottom. Do you think Nick Sirianni lost his team already?
yeah, absolutely.
I think Nick lost himself, to be honest.
Enough said.
Like, he had himself beat well before this game. I don't know what's going on. It's a mental thing with him. Dude, you've been a coach. You've been a coach under Frank Wright. You've coached for the Chargers. You've seen all these head coaches run the ball, and yet that's not part of your game plan? How the fuck are you a head coach and not run the ball? You can't win NFL games without running the fucking ball. Hey, take a note out of the Raiders playbook tonight. What happened? They ran the fucking ball. What happened? They fucking won. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, seriously, like, what's with us refusing to run the ball? It doesn't make sense.
Well,
I agree with Jalen, man. I agree with Jalen.
I'm not trying to make excuses for Sirianni, but I think his initial plan was to come in, run the ball. We saw it on the first series, but then when Sanders got hurt again, Nick gets scared. He overthinks, and
because of a screenplay,
he makes Jalen run the ball so many times. He made Jalen Hurts get 13 of the rushes.
Listen, I'm looking at these comments.
Jalen Hurts was the leading rusher tonight. Sanders only had 6 carries before he got hurt, and then Sirianni was scared to run the ball because he thought that Gainwell and Scott were not the guys. I mean, Scott has barely even gotten playing time this entire freaking season, and then Kenny Gainwell is not used to being that first-string running back right out the gate. So Kenny Gainwell is just not used to being your number one option, and then Boston Scott has barely gotten any playing time this year.
Yeah.
Why?
Think about it, though. Think about that.
Okay, so this is the first time they've yet to go deep in the first half. And why? Why do you start running the ball when you need to? In the first, the first half, they were running the ball really good. Why do you do that when you could have done that the last 5 weeks? Like, what is the point of this? I'm not understanding this play calling. For a minute,
neither am I.
Doing good, and then the other minute, it's just sloppy football. I don't get the way Nick is doing things. Go ahead, go.
Hey, that ties
into
perfectly
you run
to
the
what Jalen just
ball
commented.
when you shouldn't run the ball, and you pass the ball when you shouldn't pass the ball. Then you run the ball when you don't run the ball when you should be, and you don't pass when you should be. He's doing everything ass backwards, and it makes no sense.
Facts. Let me just get to this comment real fast because I think it's a good point from Jalen Williams. Shout out to my guy. Appreciate you for coming through. He goes, I'm not worried about the record, but my issue is we look like we're sloppy, undisciplined, unprepared, and angry. This season was about growth and risk of being a developmental setback. What do you think? I totally agree with this. It looks like with Sirianni here, all these new guys are going to be set back. All the current guys that are here now, they're taking a step back because of his play calling, his coaching decisions on the field. What do you think? Do you agree with that?
Well, here's what I'll say. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with Jalen. Jalen's a smart guy, at least from what I've seen in the comments, and I couldn't agree more with that comment. I think a big thing to me is, too, knowing the roster you had coming into the season, and obviously hindsight is 2020 because I think a lot of us bought into Sirianni. I know I did before we hired him because of his track record. Matt Castle had his best season as a quarterback under Sirianni, and they got the ball out quick when Sirianni was the quarterback's coach. Keenan Allen had his best season as wide receiver under Sirianni, and so did other guys like Dontrell Inman and Travis Benjamin, who really aren't big names. And then obviously we saw what he did in Indianapolis, but being a head coach is no doubt a lot different. And I think with the roster you had coming in, like you said, Vic, you alluded to Dan Campbell. Like, that's a guy who I really respect this year because, look, they might have lost every game, but they've been close outside of the Bengals game. And they, like you said, he's crying. He's showing a lot of emotion. Those guys want to play for him. You know who else is on that Lions coaching staff? Is Deuce Staley, another guy who people want to play for. And
we should have hired him.
With the roster you had coming into this year, at least get the guys to buy in to what we're building here, right? You need a coach who these guys can believe in while times are going to be tough, and they're going to take steps forward and be a disciplined football team. And he was under the staff for all those years, so he kind of has an idea of how to be – he's been under multiple head coaches before. He has an idea of how to run things, and it's a guy who a lot of people in that building respect. And obviously, like I said, hindsight is 2020, and they wanted to bring in guys with new ideas, both of whom I think we couldn't have seen this coming in terms of play calling for Gannon and Sirianni. I just don't think this was predictable. But it's disappointing. It's really disappointing. And the lack of discipline, the lack of development is very concerning all around because like Jalen said, we have not seen much development from the individual players either, or much improvement in terms of different aspects of the game. So it's very concerning right now.
Can I got a question for you guys real fast. Sorry, Slay. Do you believe this is one of these situations where when you look at Nick and you look at Jonathan, are they good positional coaches for like one specific area because their mind can focus on that one thing, but as a head coach and as a defensive coordinator, when you have to be knowledgeable and at every position, when you know what I'm trying to say? Like their minds are way more open. They have to control a lot more things than just one position. And there's some coaches out there who are really good at position coaches and offensive coordinator because that's all they have to be. But once they get a bigger role, they collapse because it's too much for them. I see that being one of these situations. It's not saying Nick is bad. It's just saying there's too much he's doing that he can't focus on developing these players, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there's certain people that can get out there and do that stuff. They can go way bigger than what they're supposed to. But in this instance, I don't believe that they're able to do that.
I agree.
I
agree.
Hey man, I'll equate it to this. It's like not every employee at your company can be the CEO. There's only one guy that can do it because he's worked it. He's worked his way up. He's proven himself. Now, any of us would say, "Yeah, I'll take the job." It doesn't necessarily mean we can do it, but we'll fucking take it in a heartbeat. Yeah. And I think that's the position Nick Sirianni's in. He was good as an employee under Frank Wright. But when he's the guy, he doesn't do as well. He can't run a team. It's a big difference from being a coordinator to being a head coach. That's a big leap. It seems like Nick Sirianni can't take that leap. Right now, you're looking at it.
And I want to say one more thing. Nick Sirianni was never the play caller down there in Indy. It was always Frank Reich. He only had input. He never called the plays. There was not a single time where you've seen him call the plays on that field. Most of those plays were designed by Frank Reich. So let's not act like Nick Sirianni was a guy that even called the plays. He only had input. That's what I heard from.
Here's what I say to that, though. To be fair, I mean, a lot of head coaches don't play call before they're put in that position. Like Andy Reid did not play call, if I'm not mistaken, before he got put in the Eagles head coach. So I think there's plenty of cases like that. So and they're still involved with play design and all that. So I think it's definitely tough.
And one more thing on Jalen Hurts. Philly 500 brought up something earlier today. When he was live streaming at the end of the game, which I agreed with him on. Jalen Hurts, every single time he rolls out of the pocket, or if he has enough time in the pocket, let's say he has like 5 seconds or 4 seconds and he has time, he always rolls out, and if he doesn't find a wide open man, he just runs away from it, and he forces himself to eat the sack or whatever. I don't know why it's always like that, where he gets the ball, he's always in the pocket, and if he has time and the O-line is blocking for him, he gets out of the pocket, gets sacked. Or he just forces his way to trouble.
Yeah, no, I agree, Big Cliff. Like the offensive line certainly did not have their best game today, but just looking at the overall season, look, Jalen Hurts has run himself into a lot of trouble. And a lot of times you see, in the Chiefs game, you saw that one play where he looked like 5 different directions in the pocket when it's like, dude, you can just sit there, try to make a throw, and then maybe you roll out after that. Guys aren't getting open and try to extend the play through scramble drill. But it just seems like he leaves a little bit earlier, isn't willing. I mean, a lot of people in the comments are talking about it, not willing to step up. And I'm not loving the pocket presence right now. So, yeah, those two are going at it right now. but I completely agree.
No, and I agree with you, Hunter. I 100% do. I would rather not see him drop back and roll side to side. I'd like to see him drop back more and move up.
Right.
Step forward and go straight. Stop going side to side. That's where he's getting in trouble, and that's where these sacks are coming from.
Right. And also, real quick, sorry to go on a little tangent, but like going back to last year, I think a big thing we talked about was while Carson was awful, like roll him out of the pocket. That's what he's good at. And I think with Jalen Hurts, like he likes to be on the move. He sees the field a little bit better, condenses the field and condenses the reads too. Get him out of the pocket, do some design rollouts. It works well. I don't know why they don't run it a little more for him. It's a little more traditional offense. So.
Well, my issue with that is, he does look better when he's rolling out, but when he's actually avoiding pressure and he's on the run, he makes horrible decisions. He makes bad throws.
That's a fair point.
That's my only issue with that. Because again, when pressure's on him, Jalen doesn't think straight. Again, there's some quarterbacks that lock it in. He doesn't. He's looking just downfield. He's not even looking for who's open. He's looking for an opening downfield, just so that way he can run. Yeah. And that's one of the issues that he has.
But you know what? Our wide receivers and tight ends, though, need to start playing better backyard ball when those situations happen.
Yes.
Jalen can only do so much. But when he's rolling out to his right and you got wide receivers running left and not with him, well, he's not throwing cross body all the way across fucking field. You got to roll with him. You can't just stand still. You got to move. And right now, our guys aren't moving. They're just kind of running their routes, and when he starts scrambling, they just watch him scramble. It's like, that's going to fix nothing. You have to move.
Well, that was the same issue we had against Carolina when you see that, our receivers look like they're taking players off. But I don't think it's that. I think it's just they're playing decoy for most of the game. So when a situation like that presents itself, they don't know what the hell to do because, again, they're not really in the game for the most part. They're just running around.
This is what Jalen Hurts sees on the field. If Devontae Smith isn't open, he gets lucky with a pass to Quez Watkins, or he gets lucky to a pass to Rager or Goddard. So Devontae Smith is like the only guy that knows how to get open. And if they're like double covered,
but even they got Devontae Smith out here looking.
But I'll say
Devontae Smith out here looking like Nelson Aguilar right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, but again,
fucking dropping balls and shit. You took a Heisman winner who caught 120 passes last year, and you got him looking like Nelson Aguilar. You're fucking awesome.
But again, I think that they're focusing too much on Smith another week because, again, Quez Watkins got his first catch, I believe, was in the third quarter. It was the third or second quarter. That's ridiculous. Jalen Rager got 2 balls thrown at him. I think it was in the red zone. One was dropped. The second one he actually made for the touchdown. And he made a great play. Again, we have good receivers, but they're not getting the opportunity. So when you're saying they got to play backyard ball, they don't even know where the hell they're at the time because they've been playing decoy for so long. That's all I'm thinking. That's all they think they should be doing, playing decoy.
Yeah, but bro, that
I-
should be natural though. You play backyard football as a kid. That's shit you practice your whole life. It's natural. That's not something you have to practice. Backyard football is backyard football.
Yeah, but I'll say it like this: if you ever play little league baseball and you were an outfielder, you know there's gonna be some times where it's boring as hell and you're not paying attention, and the ball might come your way and you don't even notice it at first. That's the same way I see these receivers. They're just out there, in the outfield doing nothing, just waiting around.
Yeah, well, this is the NFL, not Little League, man.
You got to talk to Nick Sirianni about that because he looks like he's play calling for a little league game.
Yeah, Sirianni.
That ain't no fucking joke.
He's just not a good schemer. He doesn't know how to set players up good. He knows how to. He knows how to extract the players do something good on a positional side, but not as for team. He's just not a good play caller on offense. And I think that's the only thing that's hurting him right now.
I just want to point this out on this comment.
Hey, has anybody watched the
What's that?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to ask if anyone has watched the press conference yet after the game.
No,
I
I haven't.
No, I didn't.
It's gonna be just like
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear the fucking excuses this man has. I have to watch it soon.
Well, I see Nick Sirianni kind of the way we saw Andy Reid. We're gonna get the same excuses. I should have done better. I should have put them in better situations.
Take full
I should have
responsibility.
done better.
Yeah,
This guy should have done better. Oh, that guy should have done better. It's the same excuses every freaking press conference, Sirianni. It's the same excuses every freaking press conference. The same excuse.
The only person that I want to hear from out of this press conference is Jason Kelce. I want to know what he. I want to know what he feels. What are his thoughts?
I would go through a wall for that dude if he was my coach. I would go through a freaking wall for Jason Kelce if he was my coach. The way he was, he can coach a team.
That's going to be a 25-minute interview. You know that, right? If they do that,
it would be
25-minute interview.
Yo, how do you call that? How do you call that penalty on Kels for his helmet being off whenever it was knocked off during a fucking play?
Nah, but he was hot. That's why they called it. Kelce was hot that play. Even if the refs didn't see it and all they see is him with his helmet, just the way he was reacting, you're automatically going to think he took his helmet off. He has an issue. You got to penalize him for it. He came out way too hot.
All you got to do is look up at the fucking screen. The replay's on. You can see his helmet falls the fuck off in the tackle. Holy crap.
Refs are perfect. They don't make mistakes.
Yo, he looked like Philly 500 when he was pissed. You know how Philly 500, he has that angry look when he's really pissed? That's what Jason Kelce was looking like today. He wanted to
that's a fact.
Throw a chair at a wall or something.
Hey, I like this comment though. Do you think that there are any issues in the locker room?
There's gotta be. There is easily gotta be, because if one of the leaders of your offense, one of the guys who's been a staple of that offense for years, all of a sudden just doesn't look like he's all there, then there's easily something going on behind closed doors. And this doesn't look like the team it did through training camp, through preseason. The energy's not there. There's something there that I just don't know what it is, and it's something behind closed doors. And that could lead to problems down the road. We don't know. But there's something there that we don't know about.
Yeah, I think there might be too. And I think our confirmation will be when we start hearing stories of players only meetings. That's usually when you get, a good indication when the shit hits the fan. So once we start hearing anything of players only meeting, which I'm pretty sure we'll get one this week, then we know.
Well, either that, or if we hear that there's more sources from the locker room or something about an unidentified player, blah, 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 is leaking something, then that's a huge red flag too.
I hate anonymous sources. I hate that whole thing. I really hope we don't start doing that again.
As long as I don't have to hear anonymous sources or day to day for the rest of the year, I will be happy.
Did anyone see how the Bengals look today, by the way?
Joe Burrow's
Very
on
good.
a fucking tear. Good God.
Dude, how did the Ravens lose to the Bengals though?
Hey,
Bengals are
they're
good.
not
a
running
bad
the ball,
team.
but damn.
You gotta
They're still getting it
okay,
done.
BLSC. You gotta stop saying that. You can't say that anymore. Or you can't call them just the Bengals. They're way better.
Bengals are a good team.
They've gotten so much better, actually. Like their offense is so much improved. Now they can actually score efficiently, and their defense isn't always.
When was the last
holding them
time the
back. They're
Bengals were this good?
I want to say when they had Carson Palmer, Chad Johnson, and TJ Hush.
2016.
Yeah, that was
That was the year that Burfict got the ejected for the hit on Antonio Brown.
That was mad. That was massive.
Hey, that was wild.
AJ
man,
McCarron.
Hey, but Juju came back. Remember that hit Juju put on him? Juju laid him out and gave him a little flex.
Yeah.
That was the one
The
time you could say
Lions
Juju
are
was a
like
Steeler.
that team from last year. The Lions are playing like that same team the Bengals were like last year. This year, they're like that competitive team, but they just can't get the job done. That's what the Lions are like.
Oh, I would so much rather have Dan Campbell as my head coach right now than Nick Sirianni.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Because like,
I'm telling
and it's
you.
like it's
Wait,
like
here's
it's like Nick said. This team wants to play for them, and I fully believe if Deuce Staley was the head coach, who knows if we would have less wins, the same amount, or even more. But the team would have wanted to play for Deuce. The team loved Deuce. You look at like, and I was gonna say this whenever AK was mentioning the defensive coordinator for Texans.
Oh, you're talking about Lovie Smith?
Yeah, Livy Smith. How he was wanting. I wouldn't mind that, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, but it's the Texans' defensive coordinator," and I get the saying any given Sunday. But you look at what the Texans just did. The Texans have been close in a lot of games, minus maybe one or two. And you look at what they did against the Patriots, how it was it was like 22-25. And then you look at the Patriots blowing out Robert, whatever his name is. Like, everybody was wanting him as a defensive coordinator because he was the main reason the Niners were in the Super Bowl because of that defense. The Patriots just put up 54 points on them.
Hey, if everyone's dropping down to the coaching, I'm gonna take Brian Dabble. That's the guy that I've been on for the past 2 years.
Absolutely.
And the sad thing about it is he's gonna be the next Las Vegas Raiders coach. That's the sad thing about it. He didn't want, again, another guy who didn't want to come to Philadelphia.
he's talking about Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, Bieniemy. Like Bieniemy, again, we don't know what Bieniemy really does for that team.
After watching the Chiefs, I don't know, man.
I think he's a lot like Nick Sirianni. You know, he's behind a good play caller. You know, that play caller, you know, and Andy Reid, his shine might, you know, rub off on Eric Bieniemy, and that's why he's getting a lot of looks. But he still hasn't gotten a job either for a reason. I wouldn't say Bieniemy again. I like, you know, what he's showing, but again, we don't really know what he does in Kansas City. No one's really telling us. Andy says sometimes he calls the second half of plays, which is fucking wild to me. Why? This isn't college. Who does that? Who gives up play calling in the second half of a game? Like that boggles my mind. But that's where I think we're Eric Bieniemy now. As I said, Brian Dable, that's the guy that I've been keeping an eye on just because of the work he's done with Josh Allen. He's continued to progress.
The Bills.
Yeah, and we're going to need that for Jalen Hurts because one of the issues that I have, it isn't with Jalen, it's our quarterback's coach. He's been Jalen's quarterback's coach pretty much all his life. Yeah. How do we expect Jalen to get any better if he still has the same guy on his side?
Yeah, and what's sad too is because Brian Johnson was amazing as the offensive coordinator for Florida, and we sure as hell are missing him right now. And it's just, I get college and NFL are completely different, and I get all that, but it's like you saw what he did with Kyle Trask and all, and just that entire season. It was just like you had to have a lot of hope for it, and that's really all it is at the end of the day. So far, it's just been hope.
Yeah, and I mean, working with Dak back at Mississippi State too. I think I remember watching those two together. But yeah, like you said, it's definitely different, Papa. But I don't know. I mean, you also could consider him calling plays at some point too. But again, college and NFL is a big difference. And honestly, I heard a lot of Chargers fans complain about Steichen with Herbert too last year. So I don't even know. I don't even know if we've gotten direction.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
If I'm just going back to the Bengals, is Zach Taylor calling the plays, by the way?
Yeah.
I don't know what got into him, but he seems like a really good offensive coordinator, or just the mind in general. I don't know.
Better than press. Better than press.
I'm literally telling you, I felt like Jamar Chase, because we all remember from training camp where Jamar Chase, he looked like a bust because he was dropping a lot of passes in training camp. And now look at what Jamar Chase has done with Joe Burrow. Look at it. Look at it. This man goes off for over 200 yards with Joe Burrow against the Baltimore Ravens today. This man literally looked like a bust in training camp to ending up, as of now, being a very good rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
So to go on to that comment that I just saw Jalen post,
The first one or the second, because they're both good comments. I was going to touch on both of them.
Yeah.
Does this job look appealing to any serious candidates? If honestly, say you fire, this is the year you finally fire Howie Roseman. Everybody just gets fired. You hire a new GM. This is a good position for anybody because you got 3 first-round draft picks. You're literally looking at a complete team that you yourself can build. This is literally like any Madden like video game storyline. It's like, I'm taking this team, I'm rebuilding it, I'm taking it from the ground up. You literally are taking this from the ground up because you got 3 first-round draft picks. Everybody's fired. There's a new GM, and you probably more than likely, you and the new GM are both first years together. You literally have no choice but to work together because nobody has that veteran experience on this team. Well, not the veteran experience, but nobody has like, I've been here longer, blah, 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 blah. You two literally have to work together if you want to keep both your jobs and to save this franchise.
Yeah. Do not hire Lou. Do not hire
what you said.
I'm good. I don't want
Hold on, let me just say something real fast. With our 3 first-round draft picks, the one thing that Papa didn't mention is the youth on this team. We have a very young team, and if we have,
and we're probably going to be selling too.
Yeah, and if we have a new GM, you best believe we're going to get a good coaching there. But it all depends on what GM candidates are out there. That's another thing too. Who is going to replace Howie Roseman?
Ed Dotz.
Well,
Dorsey.
But just to answer that question, I think if a coach is looking at this team, if the GM change, or even if the GM changes are made, this team is still an attractive team because, again, I always say Philadelphia is a huge market. You got a young team, you got draft picks, you got cap flexibility. That's something that every coach looks for.
Yeah, you also do have a lot of.
Yeah, before you go on, Sensor, I just want to say one real quick thing. What is the point of if you hire a new GM? Let's say you get a guy like Louis Riddick. He comes to this team. What's to say? Like, what's to say he just doesn't go into the same situation Howie Roseman was in, where Laurie, he just keeps putting his feet in the mud. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Howie, of course, is definitely the problem, but Laurie is also another major problem. This is the reason when an owner has this much power on controlling a team, he's gonna think, because we won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, now I just have like way more power than I once already did have. Even though I've been an owner for 20 plus years, 30 plus years. I don't know how long he's been in the team, but you won the Super Bowl. You get another new GM, and you just fired Howie Roseman. What's to say he didn't put his feet in the mud with Howie Roseman? And then he gets a guy like Louis Riddick, and he keeps doing the same thing he did with Howie Roseman. Tell him what to draft. Tell him who to draft. Tell him what to say to the head coach and what plays to design. And I just don't want that again. So
I will say with the counter argument here, and this may not be a good counter argument. I don't know. So you're saying that happens, all that stuff, blah blah blah. The first new year GM, head coach, all that stuff, blah 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 blah. What's stopping them from just going? Hold on. I forgot my camera was off. What's stopping them from just going and making the picks that those two want to pick? And then when they get fired, they're going to publicly announce, like, hey, Larry was saying we need to draft Sarah Fuller out of Vanderbilt, but we said, nah, we need Kyle Hamilton. What's stopping them from just – if they get fired because they didn't go with Lurie and they went with the better pick, then Lurie, it would just expose Lurie at that point.
Listen, man, I got to get out of here because I got to get going to work. But yeah, no. To his question though, yeah, this is definitely a high priority for anyone to come because, like he said, we have $50 million in cap next year, 50 plus mil. We have 3 first-round picks. You could possibly even have more in the second and third. All depends on who you get rid of and how much you get rid of for draft capital. You could easily turn this team around next year if you have the right personnel to do it. You know, but with Howie, that's not going to happen. I think we all know that if Howie is here next year and he has these picks, I wouldn't be surprised if our first 3 are alignment, defense and offense, because that's how he is. You know, but yeah, I hope I don't want that. You know, how I hope that they do this is they use the $50 million that we have in free agency, and they go out and they just try and work on the offense, and then use all our draft capital in the offseason for defensive players. You build this team up, you roll with Jalen Hurts for another year. He's only costing you $800,000. He's not costing you shit. Okay, you can go ahead with him, build this team up. If he's still the problem after his second year, then you go get your quarterback the third year. You plug him in, and you start winning games. You know, you got to build this team up. You can't keep wasting draft picks on a quarterback because that's not going to help you. You know, in the end, Jalen might be the answer. He might not be, but you're not going to know until you get a complete team around this kid. So you have to build this team up and then see if he's the issue. If he is, then plug in a quarterback and you start winning games. But you can't waste another first-round pick on a quarterback or a second-round pick. Our first 7-8 picks this year have to hit. For this team to be successful going forward in the next 2 or 3 years, every pick in this draft has to hit. You have vets on here that are getting older that won't be here next year and probably won't be here before the trade deadline this year, which means you're going to have a lot of empty spaces to fill. Taking a quarterback is not a fucking option. You have to have defensive players. You have to get a couple more offensive weapons. You know, we're truly missing our own, like, Jalen Hurts needs a Julio Jones or something like that right now. You know,
but doesn't he already have it? Doesn't he already have it? It's just that we're not giving this guy an opportunity in Quez Watkins.
I'm not going to put Quez Watkins in Julio Jones's category, man.
I'm not saying he's Julio Jones, but I'm saying he could be that go-to guy if we allow him to be and give him that opportunity.
Yeah, but the point is, though, right now he's not. You need someone right now. You can't wait for fucking development. Okay? You can't. Because here's the thing. You're trying to figure out right now if Jalen Hurts is your answer. Okay? And at this point and this time, you are not giving Jalen Hurts the best opportunity to prove you wrong or right, because he has these flaws on offense with the play calling, with the players, everything. Exactly. You know, we need that. And you're not giving him that. And until you do, I can't give you 100% answer if Jalen is or isn't the answer, because he's not having the best year to showcase all his abilities because he doesn't have all the weapons he needs. And you're not running the ball. You need to run the ball to open up the pass game. I mean, he's 85% of our fucking offense, man. 85. That is ridiculous. Nobody is 85% of the offense. You have to win games, you have to make it a team game. 85% is not a team game. That's one person. And it's only one person because no one else can get open enough for him to get the ball. And whenever he does throw the ball, sometimes they catch it, sometimes they drop it. You can't win games that way.
I'll interject with this. Again, how do we know it's not Jalen? Because, again, it could be his decision-making. It could be him focusing on Smith. It could be him.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But you have to realize it on this part. Jalen's only in his 11th fucking game. He hasn't even played a full season yet. You know, I'm so tired of everyone just shrugging off people after half of a season on their first fucking season. Like, I get it. It's his second season, but playing-wise, it's his first season. If we give up on everybody after their first season, then why the fuck do we draft people?
But it's like
You
I
know?
said, it's going to be an unfair evaluation because of the position we're in. Decisions
Exactly,
have to be
but
made,
that's
have
the
to be
thing.
made
That's why
soon.
you don't get rid of him until it's a fair evaluation and you can truly say 100% for certain he is or not your guy. You can't move on from him. This
Well, you're
is
not really
not
getting rid of
all
him though,
Jalen.
because all he's going to be is, hey, he's going to play,
Hey,
he's
my
going to
mom
fight
and dad
for a
played.
position next season, and if he loses it, he's our backup. He's still on the squad.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
that's a great position to have, Jalen Hurts as your backup, if that would be the case. I don't see
I
anything
would
wrong
not
with
mind
it.
that.
I don't see anything
No,
wrong with it because
and I
what did he
wouldn't
last
mind it
year?
either.
He was our backup.
But
He's doing
you
what he
got to
was
also
drafted to
look
do,
at
be
it
the
this
backup.
way. I understand that, but you have to also look at it this way, my guy. Unless you are 100% for sure certain that the guy you are drafting this year in the draft will be 100% better than Jalen Hurts, you don't pull that trigger.
There's
You
only
don't.
one guy.
And I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people going around right now that's saying this year's not the year for quarterbacks. And if
No,
it's
it
not
is
the
not.
year for quarterbacks, you
There's
don't
only
fucking
one
take a quarterback.
Only one.
Yeah, well,
quarterback.
and one quarter, whatever. I don't care. The point is, just even one. Yeah, well, what you want to give up all our first round picks for that one fucking guy? Well, then we're
No.
set back again. Exactly.
I'll
That's
say-
my point.
I'll say this
So-
to that
so-
point of this isn't the year for quarterbacks. When Patrick Mahomes was drafted, that wasn't a year for quarterbacks either. And look what came out. Look what came out of that draft class. That was supposedly a year that wasn't for quarterbacks. You got Deshaun Watson, if I'm not mistaken. You got Mahomes. You had.
I don't even think that was a good year for quarterbacks because those were the only two quarterbacks. Other than that, there was no other quarterback that came out of that.
That was
class.
the year of
Was it Lamar in that
Deshaun
year too?
Watson,
That was
That was
no.
Watson.
Lamar wasn't in that year. Lamar was not in that year.
Was he
in
the year after?
Trubisky.
He was in the Baker draft. The Baker draft.
Wait, hold on. Are you sure? I
That
thought
was
they were the same
Baker,
year
Trubisky was
Josh
this. Trubisky was
Yeah.
the same year as Mahomes and Watson.
because Mahomes sat out that first year. That's
And
right. That's
who,
right. That's right.
Who was that quarterback from Notre Dame that that had all that praise that John Gruden liked?
Jordy, the floor is yours.
Who was that one quarterback?
You're talking about Kaiser. Kaiser.
Yeah,
Deshaun Kaiser.
Deshaun Kaiser. He won the second round. Bust. Bust. He was
Yeah.
terrible.
Deshaun Kaiser was put in a bad situation, though. You got to
Yeah,
admit,
I
the
mean,
Browns
he
was a
was
bad
a
situation for
quarterback
anybody.
Yeah.
Exactly, and Deshaun Kaiser was already in a bad situation when he was taken by the Browns and led the Browns to that 0-16 season. He was literally a second-round bust for the Browns.
But like,
Brady
I
when
Brady
don't
was a
even
great
remember.
quarterback
I
too,
honestly
with the
thought
Browns
he was the
at the
first
same
round pick.
yeah, but when
Don't
it
you
comes
bring
back
Brady
to the
Quinn
Eagles-
into this.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say something.
When it comes,
Do we want to
back
go down that road?
Whatever. Whenever the heck Deshaun Kaiser was freaking drafted, he was just considered a bust in Cleveland.
Yeah, Josh Rosen was another bust.
Well, and that's the thing, though, too, you have to look at. Right now, dude, you could plug a quarterback in here, all right, and we're still not going to win. I hate to tell you all that.
Yeah.
It don't matter who you throw in there right now. This team is not built to win. That's why you got to keep going with Jalen Hurts. Yeah, granted, he's not going to he's no fucking like ultimate playmaker, and he's not, Josh Allen or anything like that, but the fact is he's not that bad. And it's not like you going out right now and getting somebody who's better than Hurts is going to make us win. No, it's not. Because you still have the lack of play calling. You still have our shitty fucking defense. You can't win games when you can't stop people on defense. So it does not matter who you plug in and play right now. You're not fucking winning.
That's why it starts at Jeffrey Lurie and Roseman. Because when you get guys into the team, and let's say you use all your 3 first-round picks, whoever the GM is next year, I'm pretty sure Lurie and Howie are the guys calling it as they see it. The scouts aren't making any moves. They've said it all along that 1 year. What was it? Jeremy Chin and Justin Jefferson who could have been on the Eagles. Howie Roseman said no. Jalen Reagor and Jalen Hurts are we want on the Philadelphia Eagles. So when you look at that, that's why if we fire Howie Roseman, I'm so like skeptical of Jeffrey Lurie doing the same thing he did with Howie Roseman, where he's like, okay, you're not gonna you're not gonna let the scouts do the smart thing. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna have to do for what I want, or whatever she would say. He's gonna take whatever he wants, and this tells the scout to not draft the guys that the team needs. And this is why the coaches can never produce good players, because they always put bad players on this team. They put players that don't belong on this team, like a guy like Jalen Rager, who didn't need to be on this team. The coaches didn't want him. Howie Roseman wanted him on this team. The scouts did not want him on this team. The scouts wanted Justin Jefferson on this team along because they knew he could produce better from the start. Now, I don't know if he would have produced, but the way this team is set up, it's set up for the GM and the owner to draft players that should not be on this team and could not produce, and it makes it worse for the coaches because it has a bad look on them, and that's why everything is just shaped up to be the way it is, because you draft players that don't produce and then they don't do anything.
Hey, real quick, Vic, I appreciate you having me on, man. I gotta get going to work.
Hey, AK, man, you have a great
We'll
night,
talk more
man.
about
I'll
this
talk to you
on
later. I
Saturday,
appreciate
man.
you for coming through.
I'm sorry for going on that annoying rant. But,
Take care, AK.
Peace out.
Hey,
Yeah,
and
you too.
everybody listening out right now, please, man, go subscribe to my guy, AK. He's out here putting in the work. My co-host, you'll find it with me on the East Meets West, podcast. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, go sub him up, hit that like, share, please. It's much appreciated. AK, man, my guy, I appreciate you so much for coming through. Thank you.
No problem. I'll see you Saturday, bud.
All right, man. I'll see you, man. Have a good one.
Peace out.
You too.
Peace, AK.
Later, guys.
Take care, bro.
See ya. So I want to say this to Big Play Slash. So this year we saw that Howie was doing the draft with most of the staff and everything, and Jonathan Gannon and Nick Sirianni. Well, weren't they high-fiving during a lot of the picks, and weren't certain guys their guys, quote-unquote? So you can bring up examples where Howie picks a certain guy, but you can't give me concrete evidence that he does this all the time. And
I'm not saying it all.
Talk to Tom Donahoe. He has an issue with some of the picks.
Exactly.
Well, the Donahue
And that's
thing
another guy I
was,
wanted to bring up. When everyone's saying Jeffrey Lurie and you talking about Howie Roseman, we also got to factor in Donahoe. He's a guy that's going to have a voice in there too. He might be the guy that finally breaks the curse of Howie Roseman. He might get into Lurie's ear and be like, "Listen, we saw these draft picks. You saw my reaction. You've seen what I wanted to do, and we didn't do that. And look what happened." That might be the guy that gets him out of here.
Yeah, but what's to say the same thing doesn't happen if we fire Howie Roseman?
But again, I don't understand. What's the point of saying that we know we have an issue? We know it's a constant issue. Nothing's changing, but we're satisfied with the person who's making the wrong choices all the time. At some point, something's got to give. You got to make a move.
the problem
It's the same thing with Jalen. We do it because we like him. We're used to it. But when you look at what it really is he's not performing at where we need him to be. I understand that, it's unfair to say he only has one season. But guess what? We got 3 first-round fucking picks. It's going to be unfair. You need to prove this season, not next year. You need to show it right now. If you can't do that, I'm sorry. The team got to move on.
Right. And I think to your point, Vic, he doesn't have to prove he's an all-pro quarterback right now or that he's like a top 5 guy. He needs to go out there and prove that he can win some football games or at least play at a high enough level to give his team a chance. And while there are a lot of issues with this team right now, I don't think Jalen Hurts is solidifying his job for at least a year 3. And like you said, it's not going to be fair. We have 3 first-round picks. And look, Matt Corral's been my guy since the 2020 season ended, so I'm real high on him. And what do you know? Somehow, some way, he is the number 1 guy. I don't know how that happened. Even me being a big Matt Corral guy, I did not expect him to be this good.
It's not a good QB class. That's why.
Well, Matt Corral has also been really good. Even if it was a good QB class, I do think Matt Corral would be right at the top right now, to be fair.
Yes,
so,
but okay, compare this to last year's class, where we were all
look,
thinking this was.
I don't disagree.
I'm
I
saying-
understand your point, and I agree with you. But I also think that Matt Corral would be a top 2-3 guy right now, even in a good class. But point being, look, he's going to be near the top, and you're going to have picks available to take him. And I think that if he's there, like I'm not saying you should take him. If you get the number 1 pick, you take Kayvon Thibodeau, right? I mean, if you get the number 2, 3 pick, I'm taking Kyle Hamilton probably, or
Absolutely.
Stingley. I'm not
At
as
this
high
rate,
on,
we might
even as an
get
LSU
2 top
guy.
3 picks.
Yeah, even as an LSU guy, I'm not as high on Stingley, but I wouldn't mind
He
him.
gets
But
beat
there's
a lot,
guys there
right?
to take. But if you
Yeah, he
you know
gets beat a
Corral's
lot.
around that 5 or 6 range, you
He's
have to
also
think
not
about
healthy.
taking him, right? Willis, I'm not taking. I think he's a good quarterback, but I'm just not willing to risk it on a project. But look, I probably got to head out now, but I appreciate you guys letting me hop on here, and
Peace
it
out,
was good
Hunter.
talking with y'all.
See ya,
Take care,
my
Hunter.
guy, I appreciate you for coming through and taking the time
Appreciate
out.
it, Vic.
I mean,
Thanks for the
you're
invite.
always welcome. I can't wait to have another conversation with you. Have a
We
great
gotta
one, my
work
guy.
again soon, Hunter. It's
Yeah,
gonna-
Yeah, man.
Gotta
and
have
like I
somebody
said
on my
before,
channel.
Gotta work
Yeah,
again.
hey, everybody right now, if you are watching this and if you're watching this in
Up this man up.
right now, stop watching. Come back later, but go out, subscribe
Open
to
a
my
new
guy.
tab.
Like I tell everyone, like and don't be greedy. Share that. You know what I mean? Give someone else an opportunity to see, an Eagles content creator that's out there doing his thing. I appreciate you, my guys. Thank you so much for coming through.
And as
Yeah,
an
thank you,
eligible
Jordy,
person-
Papa, BLSG. It was good to collab with you guys for the first time. Peace out, y'all.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace out,
Take
Hunter.
care, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm right next to Vic. Yes, sir.
Listen, I just want to see this because Jalen made another good comment where he goes, "Can we all agree that Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr is the line of acceptance for a franchise QB?" And I totally agree. Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr aren't going to blow the hinges off a game or nothing like that, but they're not going to mess it up for you. Cousins maybe he might throw an interception, but they've both been solid. A lot has been said, but when you look at their stats, solid stats. You know what I mean? They give you quality effort out there. That's what you want out of a quarterback. You want them to build on it, of course. They want them to get better. But if I would say that's a great baseline to say Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr. I can't disagree. What does everyone else think? Is that a good baseline?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Vic. I definitely agree 100%.
What is he saying? Like that's
He's saying, like the play that Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins give you,
Okay,
their production. Is that a baseline for a franchise quarterback? And I would agree because if you look at, especially with Kirk Cousins, he's one of the only players I think that's had the franchise tag 3 times. Am I correct? Was it 3
That sounds
times?
about right.
Yeah. And he still didn't get signed by the damn team. But again, he moved on, and he's the only quarterback with a guaranteed contract. Kirk Cousins had to have done something on the field to earn that. Whether you think he's a good quarterback or not, the guy proved himself to get those contracts for a reason.
and
Yeah. And I'll say this. So when it comes to franchise quarterback, I think it can be categorized a little bit to the point where certain play types or certain people fit into certain categories.
Mhm.
But that's a good one good category of them is someone who's a field general who's going to give you consistent play, isn't going to blow somebody out of the water or carry you on their back too much, but will give you consistent play. And if you can put weapons around them, will give you very good play. Derek Carr has done that when he's had good weapons. So is Kirk Cousins. So that is definitely a good baseline. And when it comes to that type of QB, if you got the right guy, you can never go wrong with him.
Yeah, facts. Anyone else on that subject?
I agree.
For which part? The franchise line QB?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, especially the way with Kirk Cousins been playing this season. If you ask me last season, probably not. But I don't know. I don't know what the, I guess, baseline for a franchise QB. And going back to us still trying to find a franchise QB, I know people are saying like, oh, Matt Corral, all that, blah, 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 blah. Generational talent. I'm seeing that now. I look at him and I see a carbon copy of Jalen Hurts. I see Jalen Hurts 2.0. I don't, especially the game that I watched yesterday, saw him overthrow, underthrow, and he's able to use his legs, and he's able to use his legs really good. I'm of the mindset of evaluate Hurts for another year, or if you're done with him this year, which I don't think you need to be, because there's a lot of just defensive generational talent. And if you're just done with him, You got Gardner Minshew. You've seen what Gardner Minshew can do. See what he can do with this team. Until next year, when there's an actual good QB draft. While you're still evaluating players. Because you still got players on contract deals. Starting next year. Like, see if trade deadline is what? November 2nd? See if, because I know some people are saying, Slay's gone. If that's the case, then see what Tay's got. See what Tay Gowan has, however you say his last name.
Gowan.
This
Gowan.
is
Okay. Because if
here's
Slay's
Doug
gone,
Peterson's burner account.
see what I absolutely can, Doug Peterson, and I just did. See what Gowan's got, and see if
I'm telling you.
don't need to worry about, or not worry about. See if we do have a QB here, we can go on with better or more pressing needs. See what I guess just see what goes with that. I don't know.
Alert! We have spotted Doug Peterson's burner account in the chat.
I'm not judging him off of one game. I'm not. I'm saying this is I'm an SEC fan, bro. I watch SEC all the time. I'm telling you right now, though. Yeah, I'm not going off of just one game, but I'm saying I've seen that all season. I saw that last season too. Saw that last season when they were going off of when they were doing the dual QB system. I don't remember who the second QB was.
Well, I'll say this one thing about Jalen Hurts.
What is
This
with
something
Doug
that-
Peterson's burner account in the chat?
Oh, I don't even know. But this is something I constantly said about Jalen.
Right.
This has to be the one season where he's evaluated. And if he isn't up to snuff, we're not giving up on him. Again, he still has to come in next season and compete with a quarterback that we would draft. And if he was to lose that competition, again, we're not giving up on him. He's our backup. I don't see the issue with saying that we're going to bring some guy. Again, going off the rookie pay scale, you're not paying him a lot. Again, you're not putting that much money into it. You're drafting a quarterback. Yeah, it's a high position, but guess what? It's a position of need. Whether you think so right now or not, it is, because I'm not trying to waste another season for evaluation. That's what I got this season for. That's what I'm doing this for. And if we do move on again, he's our backup. What's the problem with that? If that kid that we draft becomes the guy, everyone's going to say this was the greatest move ever made. Everyone's saying that was the right thing to do. But if he doesn't work out, you still have Jalen Hurts, who still needs to prove himself. So again, I don't understand what the issue is. You like the guy, got it. We all love Jalen Hurts. We love the leadership he brings, the attitude he brings to this team. Who wouldn't want a guy like that? But again, you got to produce on the field as well. He got one aspect of the game right. You got to have the second.
All right, I gotta head out, Vic. Thanks for having me on, man. It was a great stream. You keep doing your thing, man. Hopefully, this Eagles team can find themselves maybe down the line, I guess. But this is a rebuilding team. I'll just leave it at that. I'm sorry, Darius Slay. But I gotta probably change my name after this season. I probably have to do that. But yeah, you have a great stream.
You gotta change it to BP something.
I can't be Slay anymore.
No, keep
You
it
can't do
BPS.
Slay
Keep it,
anymore.
no, Slay, listen up. Keep it BPS, but change it to Big Play Sipos.
That was a good one. I gotta admit, that was a good one.
Big play Sippus.
Or I can change it to Big Play LeBron.
No,
Never happened.
no.
Oh,
No.
I know what I could change it to. I know what I could change it to. Big Bum Simmons. No play.
Wait, I got
Hey,
a good name.
Hey,
LeBron
no,
on the
I'll,
LeBron.
no, I'll agree with that. I will agree with that right now.
Y'all have a great
BPS,
day,
man,
though.
I appreciate you
having
for
me.
coming through. Everybody, if you see my guy, subscribe again. Try to follow him on one of his 18,000 burner accounts if you can. Try to keep up with my guy. He's young, but he's out here. You know what I mean? And again,
He's out here with his
appreciate you
8
coming through.
million burner accounts.
He's young.
Oh,
He's hungry, and he's confused.
Oh,
Expect like a
Doug Peterson's
50
burner
minute
account
win.
got it.
Expect like a 50.
No,
minute
the other
win.
one, Vic. All the way down, all the way down.
I'm gonna be
Oh, man.
Brandon.
He got it.
Oh,
Not that one, not that one. That one. That's
I
the
like
one right there.
That's a good
See,
point.
Big
come
boy
on, guys.
ass.
We can't get
There
on
you
my
go,
guy Slay
Slay.
like that.
There's your new name right there. Big Play Epps.
I can and absolutely will.
Big
Yo,
player, big players.
touchdown. I just want to say one real quick thing. Touchdown, Carson Wentz. He just threw a good pass to Michael Pittman that set up another touchdown to Molly Cox. So 7-1.
Carson's doing everything.
Well, I'm
he
too
can
busy
to
watching my
be
Sixers,
stupid.
so I can't see that game, bro.
Peace out.
See ya.
All right, man. Have a good one.
This way.
Appreciate you. Yeah, man.
Down to the 4.
Yeah, we're the Final Four, man. The Final Four, unless someone wants to come through. But
The Final
yeah.
4. Who's
Let
going to
me
be
ask
the
you a
next
question.
one eliminated?
Yep. Let me ask you a question, Jordy, because you're silent, but you always have solid opinions. Do you think there would be an issue if we were to draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft? Do you see it as a problem?
Now, I was actually thinking on this while everyone was talking because behind the screen, I'm always thinking, which is why usually.
Overrated.
What?
I'm saying thinking is overrated, but go on.
Okay. So, because I try to make my thoughts as planned out as possible, which usually doesn't go according to plan. But I was looking at a certain quarterback whose draft stock is everywhere, according to everybody. But I think quarterback, getting somebody in here, if you're going for a high guy, it could cause a problem. But if you go for a mid to late round guy that you think you could maybe put in a good position to compete with Hurts, I'd be fine with that. And there's one guy I'd like in particular. That is Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh.
I don't trust a QB with the name of Pick in it.
Hey, I'll say this. Pickett, what is he,
Pickett.
a fifth year?
Pickett.
I always want to say he's a 6th year for some reason, but he's a 5th year. He went back to Pitt after.
No, that's just De'Aaron King.
Yeah, all right. He went back to Pitt after a good season. He's performing with not very much, and from what I'm hearing, he's a mid-round guy, even though some people say he's higher than others. Some people are wrong in his draft stock. I mean, people like PFF do that a lot, but
Yeah, PFF.
that's neither here nor there.
Absolutely.
But if we were to get a mid-round QB that isn't exactly Hurts' play style and can kind of it can be close to it or not, I don't care, just not exactly like him, I'd be fine with it because then you have somebody to compete. And if that's someone you want to move forward with over Hurts, fine. If not, no sweat off our back because it's not a high-round pick. You don't have to invest in him long-term. I mean, we're seeing what's going on with guys like Andre Dillard. If we're going to make a big first-round pick, we got to invest in him. And that's why I'm always calling for a guy like Kyle Hamilton or maybe somebody else because that you invest. And with a weak draft class like this, there's still 1 or 2 guys that I'd be fine with in the first round. But as of right now, if you don't want to create a problem, don't take a quarterback above the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Totally agree. But yeah, as you mentioned, Kyle Hamilton, I'm really digging him. I'm really hoping that's someone we can get in the first round. I think he would help this defense out a lot. I mean, like he'd be a great addition to the team. The kid's a ball hawk. He's a physical marvel. He's a beast. Like he's out there doing his thing, and hopefully, we're in a position where we can get him. Yeah. Like everyone said, he's a grown ass man.
He really is. Like,
yeah, and
that's why if whatever reason, or not whatever reason, if we don't get the first overall pick and we can't get Kevin, whatever the hell his name is, if we have the second overall pick, I'm still picking Kyle Hamilton.
My dream is to get Thibodeau and Hamilton together.
I hope so. At this rate, we might. At this rate, we possibly will. At this rate, we're going to have 2 top 3 picks.
Yeah, and my thing is with that third,
if the Dolphins keep sucking,
that's why I said we might
would get it. But as
the
of
Lions
now,
are going to beat it next week. So yeah,
the draft pick. As of now, for the first overall pick, I think did the Lions lose today?
Yes,
I'm assuming so. Yeah,
the Lions would have the first overall pick. I think as of now,
the Lions have.
They don't have a win.
They would be
Lions
guaranteed to
have the first overall pick. Dolphins play the Jets next week. We play the.
Pray to God that
Lions.
We play the
Jets win.
Lions next week. Yeah. Did I say Kevin? I did not mean to say Kevin. My bad.
Kayvon and Kyle.
So, I'll say this on Kyle Hamilton. I call him the golden bullet for a reason because the dude can fly and he can pick off a ball. I mean, he made a play earlier this year and I lost who it was off the top of my head, but he was set up in, I want to say cover 2 or cover 3. It was a 2 safety set. He's back in the zone. The receiver goes to make a play on the sideline. He comes out of nowhere, picks the thing off.
Oh, yeah, that dude goes sideline to sideline. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a reason that I call him the golden bullet. And, I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau's a pipe dream right now. And that third pick, I think, if we do get a third first round, how he's going to trade back because that's his MO. I would be fine with if we have, let's say, a mid-first round pick and the other pick we trade down. I'd be fine with going with someone like an Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan, which I'll never say that again. But that is the one Michigan player I will say that I would be fine with taking.
The defensive end.
Yeah, because that kid's a beast.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, what's good, Gio? Thank you for coming through.
No doubt, brother. Thanks for having me on the live.
Always. Like I said, man, the door's always open.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, Jordy, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just wanted to say the greetings real quick, but go ahead.
No, it's fine. But he's a beast, and I think he could be the next guy to fill in whatever side he plays on for Brandon Graham. I think there's a lot of potential in him. I like him as a player. And if you were to get Hamilton and Hutchinson in the same draft, I wouldn't be complaining because I could see those two guys leading a defense in their future. The same thing I said about Owusu Koromoa. I think they can lead a team in the future.
Yeah, totally agree. Let me just get to Gio because he just came through. Let me just get your reaction on today overall. What did you think? What do you think we can do to go forward?
The play calling, man, honestly, man, it's been like bogus, man. Once I heard that we went for the onside kick, I'm like, what the hell are we doing now, man? Like, is this us? I mean, I've been an Eagles fan since the McNabb era when I wasn't watching football back in the day, but, I did get to go to the vet or whatever. But, man, I haven't seen nothing like this in so long, man. It's ridiculous. 2-5 now, man. But like I said, going in, in the future, we do got, 3 good picks in the first round. Hopefully we do get the first top 5 with this Dolphins loss. The Dolphins losing today to the Falcons and whatnot. I mean, but that game, man, they almost won that game.
Now, you've heard us talking about, where we're at with Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. I'm just going to give you a 2-part question. Do you think if we continue on this path, it's smart for us to move on from Nick Sirianni? And if we're all on this path and we don't see any improvement out of Hurts, would you be one of the guys willing to draft a quarterback in the first round?
Yeah, only because Flacco is old, man, honestly. And I don't think he's like really mentoring Jalen like that. Because last year from tape, when Jalen had them 4 games, he looked different compared to what he is this year. I don't know if it's because Doug P was there at the time, so who knows? But Sirianni's got to go, man. Like I said, he's using this creative Madden playbook, like I've been saying it in everybody's chat, and he needs to just go, man. Honestly, Jonathan Gannon too. I don't know what happened when he lost confidence this game. The defense looked sharp the last 3 games. What happened today?
Yeah, hey, I got to give you credit for that because I have seen you put in the chat with his Madden play calling, and today during the game, that's exactly what the commenter said. That Nick Sirianni calls these plays like he's playing Madden.
Yeah, dude, like it looks like that. It's something like a 10-year-old will use online, man, with screens, man. This is ridiculous, man. It's only going to be a matter of time when one of these teams is going to take it to the house, man, on Jalen. It's got to be a wake-up call for that. But, like I said, I'd rather have Sirianni out the door, fire Howie Roseman, sell the team, honestly. I'm a big fan of selling the team, honestly. We got young talent. They need to improve. I think Rager should just stay in special teams, and Watkins should be Quez Watkins should be the number 1 receiver, honestly, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with Quez Watkins. I think that he's a good he's a great talent, and we're doing him a disservice by not even giving him the ball more. Again, there's no reason why his first catch should have been in the 3rd quarter. If you're focusing on whoever's leading to this, whether it's Jalen Hurts with his inability to read the field and constantly going to the security blanket and Devontae Smith, or if it's Nick Sirianni and his quest to make Devontae Smith the Rookie of the Year or whatever he feels he needs to do for him. They need to stop it.
Correct.
You got to spread the ball. You got to run the ball. Again, this is a team is made of 11 players. Now, the offensive line can't really do much other than block. The rest of the guys, you got to give them the ball when you know what I'm saying, when you can. You can't ignore guys. This is one of the problems that we're having. We're ignoring talented players. And like we were talking before, when a play breaks down and it comes to, well, just get open, no one knows what the hell to do because they're not even expecting the ball.
Yeah, it's like a panic button, man. He just runs out of pocket when he doesn't need to. He needs to just have a better pocket presence and just stays in the pocket, man. Like he need to adjust to that. And then I've noticed he throws to the right more than the middle. I haven't seen Jalen really throw in the middle like that.
Yep, and that's one of the problems I'm having because our tight ends can eat up the middle of the field. And again, that's another group that hasn't been given the opportunity. We've seen Dallas Goedert. I believe he had 3 catches, or maybe it was 4 attempts for 3 catches. But again, why is Dallas Goedert getting his second catch in the third quarter? That's wild. You should be getting your second catch still within the second quarter. No one on the team should have a second catch in the third, fourth quarter. That's just
we shouldn't be a second half team, man. Honestly, we shouldn't be a second half team.
Facts. Second, that's all we are right now. Again, we mentioned it earlier. It's only when the fourth quarter comes around is when we decide,
Exactly, yeah. We're a fourth quarter team, not even a second half team, just a fourth quarter team, man.
We need to take that motivation onto the first quarter and, have it extend to the rest of the game. We can't be playing catch up all the time. It's not a good thing. But we've talked about Nick Sirianni. We've talked about, Jalen Hurts. How much of the blame does everyone think should fall on Jonathan Gannon's shoulders? Because, we haven't really mentioned his name much. BLSG, if you're there, I'm going to start off with you. How much blame are you going to put on Gannon?
Yeah, I'm here. And, I mean, Gannon has to be better in terms of the defense. But again, at the same time, it depends on what offense you're facing, whether if it's like a mastermind like a Bruce Arians coaching the offense or if it's like an Adam Gase coaching the offense. But at the same time, Gannon needs to be better on the defensive coaching side. And if Gannon keeps coaching like the way he is and allowing the offense to just grow, just get it together real fast like they did today, then there's a chance that Jonathan Gannon gets fired with Nick Sirianni. I'm just going to throw that out right now and say that there's a possibility that Jonathan Gannon's job is also on the line. And this is only his first season as a defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles since we fired Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, totally agree. Papa, what do you think? Papa, can you hear me?
Papa going once.
Papa going twice.
Papa going 3 times.
To
Papa Soy is out of here.
Gio, my guy, I'm gonna head off to you. What do you think?
No, I don't think it's a problem, man. It looked like he's been picking up the slack for it, honestly, man. The defense has been picking up the slack for the offense's struggles or whatever. So I think Gannon should be the ones that stay here. I know a lot of people is gonna be in the chat, whatever, saying it, but the defense has been doing good, Avonte Maddox with that crucial pick, you know what I mean? So I don't think Gannon should go, honestly. It's just Sirianni, man. Sirianni and the offensive coordinator, man, gotta go, man.
Yeah, I do see that point because, like I said, when we start off the game, we were putting a hole and it was Avonte Maddox who got us out of that hole with the interception. Yep. Last week when we were down, it was Darius Slay and Nelson who got us out of it. So, like, defensive players have been getting us out of tough situations. So, you got to give credit to Gannon for that. Jordy, what do you think? Do you blame Gannon? How much blame does he get if you do blame him?
So, I don't think there's a lot that should go on Gannon's shoulders, but I think there is some because his defense has had some struggles. There's times where it hasn't adjusted, and whether that be from a coaching standpoint or a player impact standpoint of whether they're there making the plays or not, I can't tell you exactly what the percentage is or what have you, but some of it does go on him. There's times where he won't adjust, times his scheme doesn't look right or play calling looks right, and that's on him. But there's also times where he's helped dig us out of this hole. I say it all the time with Notre Dame. There was times where a starting quarterback would look like garbage, and I joke that every time I watch him I get more disappointed, but I actually do. and the defense will bail us out, and that was always a problem. That's also a problem here. It's the same thing. And the way to getting better is not as, yes, a little bit is the defense getting better with execution and play calling, but a lot of it falls more on the offense. And while I blame Gannon to a certain extent, it's not nearly as much as a lot of the offensive guys.
Yeah, agreed, man. Great points. Great points. Papa, let me finish it off with you. What are your thoughts?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Do you think Jonathan Gannon, deserve the blame, or how much blame does he deserve?
Yeah, definitely deserves some blame. I mean, like you mentioned, which I was half paying attention because I was finishing stuff up for college work. But like you mentioned with Slay, Maddox, Nelson, blah, 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 all those guys kind of bailing us out with like interceptions and all that. Yeah, defensive players are making plays, but there's also no adjustments. Throughout that entire game, there were no adjustments. And I watched it with, which Hunter isn't here because he'd probably be laughing at me. I watched it with Florida last week against LSU. Defense, no adjustments during defense, no adjustments during defense. They ran the same play like 5 times, or not 5 times, like 20 times. And it was just a simple run up the middle. Couldn't stop them to save our lives. And it was just, it was kind of the same thing today. It was, I don't even know how to describe it. Philly Mike described it the best. With the run, because they were able to just run up on us easily. With the run, it doesn't matter if you get beat over the top. Bring the safeties down at least. If you get beat over the top, then you get beat over the top. But right now, the main thing that the Raiders did was they ran. They just ran, and so does every single other team because they know our linebackers are trash. So you got to bring the safety help to help us. So, I mean, while Gannon doesn't deserve all the blame, he definitely deserves some. This entire coaching staff deserves a hell of a lot of blame. And I hope nobody returns next year.
Yeah, man. Great points, my guy. I totally agree. I'm gonna ask this one question, and then I'm gonna bring up Detroit. Now, going forward with our team and how we're headed, is this something that we think? Because I've asked this before. Is this something that can be turned around? Do you think that at least for me, I finally feel that Nick Sirianni is listening. He's heard everybody's complaint. I'm pretty sure his email, his DMs are filled with run the goddamn ball. And he tried it today. He went out his way. He started off the game with the run. We looked good. We went away from it. We got Boston Scott in the game, which he should have been in a hell of a lot sooner. But we got Boston Scott in there, and we ran the ball. Do you think this is something that can be turned around? Is this a lost season? Is Sirianni a lost hope? BLSU, I'll start off with you.
Yeah. It is a lost hope. Honestly,
Yeah,
man.
I'll take it first. I mean, in terms of what we've been saying about Nick Sirianni, what have we constantly been telling him? Run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. How many weeks have we been saying that now? We've been saying it 6 weeks in a row. Make it 7 this week. But you know what Nick Sirianni did this week? He tried to run the ball more. He actually tried to run the ball. But the only reason why there were very few carries today, Jalen Hurts had 13. But take away Jalen Hurts carries. Miles Sanders, Nick Sirianni tried to run the ball. The problem was Miles Sanders, I think he only had like 6 carries, if I'm not mistaken. 6 carries. The problem was with Miles Sanders, after his 6 carries, he was out with the injury. So Miles Sanders is injured. You have Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott. Boston Scott has not gotten a lot of playing time. So you can't expect Boston Scott to go out there and just be that number 1 star running back. And then in terms of Kenny Gainwell, that's a lot of pressure on a rookie. And Kenny Gainwell is not used to playing that number 1 running back role. So Kenny Gainwell has got to get used to it a little bit. And Boston Scott, he's just not the guy to be that number 1 running back. And honestly, just I mean, Sirianni did try to run the ball today. The problem was that our number one running back was injured, and we couldn't
On
do
a
anything about it.
screenplay.
We couldn't do anything about it except just try to run the ball with our other two backs, and it just didn't work today. So we had to run it out and have Jalen Hurts escape the pocket and have him take it himself, which did not end up working too well today.
Yeah, it didn't at all. Papa, are we looking at a lost cause?
Yeah, I do not. We may win a couple more games. We may not win any games. I would not be shocked. And I hear him say, him being BLS, I hear him saying like, okay, we saw Sirianni. The first drive looked amazing. First drive was probably the best drive of the entire season. And then we went away from that. We saw Hurts under center. He was comfortable. We were running the ball up. We were under center, run the ball up the middle. Sanders was getting in a groove, all that stuff. And we just went away from it. We went away from it. The second drive, we went back to screens, shotguns, all of that. And I get you can't be under center for every play. But it's just we went away from that. We took what was working and we went away from it. And this team, most people are like, whenever a team loses, like, oh, they'll have a hunger for next week. They'll be dangerous and all that. We have no hunger. With the Lions, like you mentioned, they've been in, I'm pretty sure every game -1 has been close for them.
Yeah.
They've had, like you said, you got Dan Campbell crying. That's the kind of coach I want. I want him to be like, I let this fan base down. I've let this team down. I've let myself down. I am trying to be better. The dude's like crying, bawling his eyes out. That's a coach. That is a coach versus Sirianni, which says pretty much the same thing. It's like, oh, it's on me. Well, then fix it. Then fix it if it's on you. With Campbell, I fully expect us to lose against the Lions. And draft-wise, and just hoping somebody gets fired, kind of hope we do. Because part of it would be like, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Everybody has looked bad that Howie is drafted, but Howie also, if Miami gets the first overall, Howie also got you the first overall pick. So it's kind of like, would he be a genius or is he the idiot that we all know him to be? What would happen here? Would the front office, or not the front office, would Jeffrey see it like, oh, well, he got us the number 1 pick. The dude's a genius, or this guy's an idiot. He sucks. He's fired. I don't care what pick he got. So it's a lot of I don't knows. But yeah, I think the season is lost. I do not think there will be many winnable games in our future, if at all. Maybe the Jets.
The fact that you said maybe hurts. It hurts so much.
Like maybe the Jets, maybe the Broncos. I don't.
Zach Wilson got hurt, and we're still giving
the Broncos game is in Mile High, and usually Mile High is a tough place to win. So
yes, but they also don't have.
I'm literally going to the Jets game on the 5th.
They also don't have a quarterback, but I can't.
You better bring us that win, brother.
Listen, if we don't win that game, Gio, I'm gonna give you all the leeway to go as crazy as you want. I'll pay bail. I got you on bail,
man.
Yeah, we got you.
You better, for the love of God, beat Zach Wilson, and then who knows if he's gonna
if he even plays. Who knows? Zach Wilson might, because Zach Wilson went down with a knee injury, so who knows?
Yeah. Gio,
depending if he has to get if he has to go on IR or if he has to do any of that, then who knows what's gonna happen.
Either way, I still feel like we're going to get top 5
does not play
pick,
by the
maybe
time
top
we play
7.
the Jets, and if we have to see Mike White, and if we somehow lose to a guy by the name of Mike White, I will go crazy.
Hey, we lost to Dave Brown before, so we lost to a guy by the name of Dave Brown before, so a Mike White wouldn't hurt either. But Gio, let me get your thoughts. Are we done? Is this coach a wrap? What's going on with it?
Honestly, I got us winning 2 more games, honestly, in my opinion. The coach is gone, man. Like I said, I don't want him here no more. And Ali Roseman, he's an if with me, just like Papa was saying earlier, man. He did get us that pick from the Dolphins, so it's an if with me. But I don't know. Next year, like I said, draft is going to be heavy. We got 3 picks. I don't want to see Sirianni with another promotional shirt that he's going there. I just want to see him like just win games, man. I'm tired of seeing a different shirt every week, man. Like him trying to hype it up, but no, man, this ain't no promo, man.
We don't need friends. We need coaches.
Yeah, exactly, man. We need coaches. We don't need friends.
We need actual coaches that know how to coach.
I need what we all saw, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I know this is your interview
good,
time.
brother.
I need what we all saw in preseason when Jalen Reagor dropped that pass, Sirianni lighting into his ass. That's what I need to see. We have not seen that since.
Right, man.
Yeah.
Philly, man, we a dog. We a dog city, man. And he's not a dog, man. He's a poodle, man. He's just like he needs to be a tough coach on these players, man. There's something going on in the locker room, man. I think that's what I think, because these players ain't in sync. And look at Jason Kelsey blowing his top off. Never seen that in football for my team. I never seen that.
Big facts.
Yeah, he's losing the team, man. He's losing the team.
Hey, that's what I've been seeing. That's what I think. But Jordy, let me get your thoughts. Is it a wrap? Are we good? Can this be turned around? What do you think?
So when it comes to this season, I think it's a loss. It is partially a lost cause. When it comes to competing, yeah, it probably is. This team can probably pull out a few more wins. Keyword probably. My floor of 5 wins still is about right. My predictions dropped down to about 6. And when it comes down to it, I don't know what's going to happen with this team going forward. They're so unpredictable, for better or for worse. Hurts is having his problems here and there with his accuracy or his arm strength or what have you. He always has something that's going to become a problem. Then you've got receivers who I said going into the year were inexperienced, and that's going to be a problem. What do you know? It was a problem. I mean, we've got too many speed guys. We've got too little big body receivers, and the one we have isn't being used besides as a blocker. I mean, who could have thought that would have been the worst thing we're doing is misusing a big body tight end, or a big body receiver. We're not using our tight ends. Our running backs, we only have 3, and we heard so much preaching about a lot of different things with this offense and the 2-back sets that we were supposed to bring in. I haven't seen a 2-back set all season, and I've seen most of the games. So this offense, I don't know what it has anymore. And the defense isn't much better. Without Brandon Graham, they've lost their heart. And that's something that's hurt. And they lost a leader. And the guys stepping into the role aren't doing very good. Kerrigan was supposed to be this big, bad signing. He's doing nothing. He's playing 20% of snaps to do nothing. He's doing what Derek Barnett does every week, except without the stupid penalties. And then Fletcher Cox, he's been quiet. I'll give him props. He's done good, even though he's been quiet. He's pulling a lot of double teams. That's what he's done in the past. Besides, he's not playing 95% of snaps like he used to. He's not in a position to do it anymore. Hargrave's going off. I'll give him props too. The rest of the defense, the linebackers suck. The corners outside of Slay are okay at times. Nelson's still a rent-a-corner. Safeties are okay. So at the end of the day, you don't have a very great team that can execute plays. You don't have good play callers. You don't have great schemers. So it's not a great collection to put together and hope wins some games or more than a couple. So in my eyes, this is mostly a lost cause, and I've already been looking forward to this draft because there's some names that I'm really excited for this year, and they've pulled my attention.
Yeah, I totally agree with everyone saying. You know what I mean? There's a lot of issues on this team. It's very difficult to see if we can turn it around, because when we look at it, what we want to see out of this team every week is improvement. no matter how big or how small. We just want something. And the thing is, for the past 4 games, we've only seen regression. And I feel that's a big issue. You know what I mean? Like that's all on the coach. That goes on to the players too, because at the end of the day, they got to execute those plays. And we've seen that there's been times where they haven't done a good job. But, with a loss comes a lot of negativity like we've been having today. So I have 2 questions before we go. I just want everyone's thought real fast, and it's going to be a 2-parter. So we got Detroit coming up. What do we think? Can we win this game? Can we go into Detroit and eke out a win? It's going to be tough. We said Dan Campbell and that team, they're playing for something. They're playing for each other. That's something that we're not doing right now. It's going to be very difficult. And also, like I said, it's been very, very negative. Give me one positive you have going into the rest of the season. BLSG, let me start off with you.
Yeah, man. Detroit, I mean, we played them at their place, right? That's a road game?
Correct.
Detroit, yeah. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, we've had some struggles when we play at Detroit. Correct me if I'm wrong. We've had struggles when we play at Detroit in their place. But this is a completely different team. This is Jared Goff. This is not Matthew Stafford's team. I mean, Jared Goff has TJ Hawkinson. He has this player and that player. He has DeAndre Swift in the backfield. I mean, he has a completely different offense, but despite the fact the Lions don't have a win yet, Jared Goff has been putting up some good efforts, just that the Lions haven't been able to get the job done. Whether if it's their offense, their defense, their special teams, their coaching staff, depending on whoever it is that is not giving them the wins, that's completely on whoever it is, unless if it's a little bit of everybody. So the Eagles really need to take advantage, and they need to beat the Lions next week, because after that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we play, I think it's the Chargers after the Lions.
Yeah, the week 9, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Chargers after the Lions. So we honestly need to win this game to at least have ourselves sit at 3-5 going into that Chargers game. And we just need to look better than what we did today, and we cannot get off to a slow start against this Lions team. If we get off to a slow start against this Lions team, I'm going to be like, what in the world are we doing, and why did we make this Lions team look like a playoff team? Because this has happened too many times. I don't care which team it is, whether if it's the 49ers, whether if it's the Cowboys, whether if it's the Chiefs, whether if it's the Panthers, even if it's the Buccaneers, who are already looking like a playoff team. I don't care who it is. But if we're making Detroit look like a playoff team, that is absolutely bonkers, because Detroit has no wins yet. We have 2, but we're not looking like a much bigger difference. So this is going to have to be a game where everybody needs to step up. Everyone needs to take a step into the right direction when it comes to progressing, and they just need to be better and be much more instinctive. Sirianni needs to be better, as long as Miles Sanders comes back, and then Nick Sirianni will go ahead and start running the ball, because he was intending to run the ball today. But Miles Sanders went ahead and went out with his injury, and then Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott were not the guys to run the ball. So at the end of the day, Nick Sirianni was trying to run the ball. He just couldn't, because his running back Miles Sanders wasn't in. And then Jalen Hurts, when it comes to spraying the ball, he's got to be more accurate, and he still has to work on his accuracy. But again, Jalen Hurts has not played a full season. So at the same time, Jalen Hurts is going to struggle at some parts. He's going to have positive moments and negative moments, but we want to see positive moments out of Jalen Hurts. Don't get me wrong. That's what we expect every game, but we're not going to get that every game. And then the offensive line hasn't done a bad job, but they could improve a little bit. I mean, Jalen Hurts can run out of the pocket if he needs to, but we don't want to make him do it too much, because he is a QB that is still learning the play calling out of Nick Sirianni, and mainly out of every coach that he's currently learning from right now. He's still learning the play calls. He's still learning the play calls, and he's still learning how to be that number 1 guy, because otherwise he could honestly get benched if he doesn't step up right now. And then in terms of the defense, they got to be better too. I mean, I get that we had an interception on Derek Carr, but an interception is not going to be enough if you're going to play like that against the Lions. You need to lock down the receivers in terms of the secondary. You need to lock down the tight end T.J. Hawkinson in terms of your linebackers, and you especially need to put pressure on Jared Goff. I can't see Jared Goff running out of that friggin' pocket, and I can't see him running all over our asses. I just can't see that whatsoever. If I see that, then our team seriously has a problem, and we're going to have to get rid of some guys coming up towards the trade deadline.
What's the one positive?
The one positive going forward is hoping that the Eagles D-line maintains pressure on the QB and makes the QB not throw the ball, no matter which QB it is going forward. Whether if it's Jared Goff, who we got next week, whether if it's Justin Herbert, whether if it's Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater, whether if it's Jameis Winston when we play the Saints, we need to maintain pressure on the QB. The QB, no matter which QB we're facing, is going to want to try to throw the ball. And they're also going to want to try to run the ball themselves too, because some of these QBs, like a bunch of the QBs I mentioned, like Jared Goff, I really haven't seen him run too much. Herbert can run, though. Herbert can run, so we mainly got to watch out for Herbert. I mean, Bridgewater can run. I've seen him run, and I've seen Jameis Winston run too. So we got to watch out for those QBs that can run out of the pocket as well. So we have to maintain the pressure on the QBs and as well as the running back, because when the running back's in the backfield, you got to put pressure on them as well. So at the end of the day, what I'm looking for is the Eagles to bring more pressure to the running back and as well as the QB, just to make sure that we prevent those completions from the quarterback to their receivers in terms of their offense compared to our defense.
Well said, man. Yeah, well said. Papa, let me get what you got.
DeAndre Swift's going to run all over this defense. That alone, it might be close. Maybe we'll eke out a win, but DeAndre Swift by himself will win this game for the Detroit Lions. By himself can win this game for the Detroit Lions.
Woo.
I am not, like I said, I would probably be more shocked if we won another game this season than if we didn't. I don't know. I don't know. Positive is it looks like we're going to be selling a lot. They're already saying like a high second day for Dillard. Okay. If we can get a high second day for Dillard, probably can get the same for Cox, get the same for a bunch of other people, you know? Just start selling and hopefully fire Howie and get a GM who will actually do something with those picks. Maybe we'll have like 12 plus picks like we did last year, and we'll make good picks with a good GM. I know that's the only positive I've got for this season.
Hashtag fire Howie. Let's go.
That and Hargrave and Maddox. Maddox, I will say Maddox has proved me wrong. I am a big fan of Maddox this year.
I'm gonna let you know you had me when you said move Andre Dillard. Gio, let me get your thoughts, my guy.
Man, I don't got us winning this game, man. I got Swift on my fantasy lead on all three of them, man. Him alone will carry that team's back, man. Honestly, and I think I see Goff. Yeah, I got to start him, man. Money league. But I honestly got Goff too, man, airing it out on us, man. I think he's going to take shots at Slay. About T.J. Hawkinson, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to go off on us because we kept the tight ends on the check under, I think it's 100 yards. We haven't put up, no tight end has put up 100 yards on us. Only one that was shocking. He had 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's the positive I got for us in our defense. Defense has been stepping up little by little. I got to see Hargrave get to that, get him to eat. The O-line, man, we got to start feeding them too, man. Them dogs are hungry, man. They can get through and get the run, get the holes open. And then Sirianni, you watching this, man. No more screenplays, man. Turn them into play actions, man. Get that run, man. Get them fixed like that, man. We got some deep threats out there, and Smith and Watkins, man. Give them guys some ball. And Jalen has to stop with them air balls, man. He's putting up too much hang time on them balls, man.
Big facts on Jalen throwing the ball because there was a couple of ducks he had. There was that catch. I think I want to say it was a matter of fact to Rager when he had to jump up just to get that ball. Rager stopped that from being an interception. And that was all on Jalen. Like, Rager was pretty much open. He was in front of the defenders. If he'd have thrown it right to his chest, Rager would have had it. But he lobbed the ball up and made him he made it a jump ball, which is ridiculous. Luckily enough, Rager got that though. But yeah, man, that was good stuff. Jordy.
Real quick before Jordy starts, I just want to say shout out to Seth Curry. That is all.
Yes, sir, bro. Seth Curry was amazing tonight.
I'm sorry, I had to.
He's a beast. He's a beast. And while we're on
Seth Curry is a grown ass man.
Let me just say this. I think it was a huge disservice and a ridiculous snub to not put Klay Thompson in the top 75. What is wrong with people, man? Klay Thompson is probably the second best shooter the NBA has ever seen.
That was pretty funny. Did you see what they did though to his locker when they put a 77 jersey in it? Did you see?
That's awesome.
That's so funny. Oh my god, that's hilarious. But Jordy, let me get your thoughts.
He had 3 blocks today, though, as well as 22, 9, and 6.
Awesome.
So, when it comes down to this game, I think it's going to be close, just because of how off balance this team seems. The Lions carry a lot of heart into their games through Dan Campbell, and they're a team with nothing to lose and everything to gain. I said the same thing about USC, and I said about I said about all the academies, the military academies in college football. Mm-hmm. They're usually teams that have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and that makes them dangerous because they will take risks and they will take shots, because if it doesn't work, again, they've got nothing else to lose. So when the Lions are a team like that, they're very dangerous. And Hawkinson's been very quiet recently. I didn't expect to see that from him, but
hasn't he been injured?
I think he was a little bit, but not completely. But
there's nothing too serious.
Okay.
It's just there's certain weapons that I believe could make a little bit of a difference, like an Amon-Ra St. Brown or a Swift on that offense. And they'll take risks with those guys. When it comes to our team, between the bad play calling, the inefficient quarterback play, the 5th combination of O-line this year, and a receiving core that we target the same guy over and over, and we target the same couple guys. The passes always go to Gainwell and Goddard and Smith. The runs always go to Gainwell and Sanders. It's all our offense does. It's easy to predict. There's not a lot of motions. There's not a lot of difference. A lot of it's at a shotgun, a lot of RPOs. It's going to be easy to read. Defensive side, they're doing a lot better than the offense is so far. I'll give them that. But they're still not perfect. They've got some stuff they need to fix. And the linebackers look like Swiss cheese right now. Like, I could catch passes on that linebacker core all day. I could go through those guys. Mm-hmm. They just suck so much. And I had so much confidence in these guys. And some have taken steps back. Some have been put into a new role that hasn't suited them. Eric Wilson. But all in all, no matter what the situation, the defense has holes to fix. It has play calling issues to fix. It has scheming issues to fix. The same can be said for the offense. And I don't think you're going to be able to fix those within a week. By the end of the season, a lot of things can change, but not right now.
Any positives to take away?
The positives to take away from the season are once it's over, we don't have to be stressed anymore. And special teams looks good. Cephas looks amazing. Jake Elliott, besides the onside kick, has looked amazing.
And that extra point.
The special teamers.
I wouldn't praise Elliott.
And let's forget that Jake Elliott isn't missing 22-yard field goals.
Yeah, let's not forget he's not missing chip shots. This kid, I think there's a lot that, they came out with he had a confidence crisis, and when it came to it, I was like iffy on that. Now seeing what he's done so far, I think that was true. I think he had a confidence crisis. I don't think he had the right guy as a special teams coordinator. I think he's in a way better spot right now. I think he's back to what he was in 2017. He makes mistakes here and there, but I mean, this special teams units looked a lot better than the rest of the team, and I'll give them props for that.
Yeah, I honestly think Sipaw's got something to do with it too, man. Sipaw's been on point, man, with them 10, them ended in the 10, man. I think he has something to do with Jake Elliott's confidence, honestly.
Yeah, I'm
Sid-
surprised.
I
And
will
look
say
who
that's
just
the
came
only
in here, guys. As we're about to end this string. Look at
That's the
look
only
at who
coordinator
just-
I want to keep, Michael Clay. Keep him. He's doing
Yeah.
wonders.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
I'm
what's good, my guy Foothills? Thank you for coming through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, guys?
Nothing much, man. We're just, chatting it up, chopping it up. I'll bring the question to you because, I've actually went around the horn. We're kind of almost about to wrap it up, but I just wanted to say, do you think going into Detroit, we can turn it around in this short week and, take care of things? And with this loss, there's been a lot of negativity. I just wanted one positive that you can take away from today.
The one positive I could take away from today is that we saw it on that very first drive. They ran 3 consecutive plays with Jalen Hurts under center. They ran the ball. They were able to get a play action pass to Goddard down the field off of that run game that we established early on. That's the type of offense that Jalen Hurts needs. Without that, it's going to be the same old thing week in and week out. If we don't try to establish that consistent run game out of some standard formations, it's only going to get worse for Jalen and this wide receiver and this receiving core. It really is, because if Sanders is out for any extended period of time, that's just going to put even more pressure on Hurts. So, we just gotta, even with Sanders on the sideline, we got to continue to, we got to continue to run the ball. We got to continue to try to run the ball. And if that means bringing Jordan Howard up off the practice squad in the meantime, then so be it. But we seen how this offense could work, and I don't care if it was the first drive or not. That was a vast improvement, and at least, I'll give Sirianni and Steichen that. They at least are trying to change some things up and to get back to some real basic football, and that's run the damn ball.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Now, what I'll say is, I think we have an opportunity to change things around. Like we all mentioned, we know Nick Sirianni has been hearing the rumblings. He's probably tired himself of hearing, you're wearing a T-shirt, but you're not doing anything when Sunday comes around. We've seen that we're a team that if we run the ball, it works for us. Again, that first series, we scored, and we scored fast. Miles Sanders came out. He was running the ball well. He was excited to run the ball. When you have your players excited to play and you have them in a position, you shouldn't do anything to take that excitement away from them. And I think that's the one issue Sirianni has. He's like a fucking Debbie Downer on that damn team. You start off the game, you come off great, and then you switch to what you're used to, and that's not what works. You got to understand, my guy, like you got a little bit of it today. You seen what it was. You run the ball, good things happen. You reverted back to the pass, and we seen the game got away from us. We went back to the ball, and we kind of got back in it. Again, there were some mistakes made. There's no reason why Kenneth Gainwell should have been taking over Miles Sanders when you have Boston Scott, who's a proven veteran. He's run the ball before for this team. He's held the team down. Should have started off with him. Give him the ball often, because again, with these running backs, you can't expect them to do something with 10 carries. You got to get them into the flow of the game. You know what I mean? You got to work that up. The defense, again, we seen you started off the game well. We've seen what you can do. You've had spurts here and there. Let's be honest. A lot of people were talking about Steven Nelson, but he's been one of the bright lights on this defense. Darius Slay has been a bright light on this defense. Anthony Harris, you got to the linemen, you got Hargraves. There's some bright lights here, but again, all that light's going to be snuffed out if your defense coordinator can't call the right plays, can't make the right adjustments. That's the only issue I see. Once our coaching staff gets this, I think that this team would have no limitations. There would be nothing that could stop us. But again, we need our coaching staff to get it together. Jalen Hurts, I know you're in a bad situation. You just lost your star running back, even though you weren't using him much, but you've seen that he can help you out a lot. Now, it's going to be on you now. You know what I mean? Like, you're in the position where you want it to be. Everything is going to be put on you. You got to make better decisions, my guy. You can't hold on to the ball as you did. You can't just throw the ball the way you did when you're running out the pocket. If you're going to run out the pocket, you don't see anything downfield, take that loss. Run out, you know what I'm saying? Run out of bounds. You got to take it. When you were running that RPO play, my guy, you almost got yourself killed out there. Your head literally almost got taken off today. You got to be smarter with the ball, you know. And my positive is this team in general. You know, I think this team is young enough and hungry enough that they can turn things around. Like I said, there are some bright spots on this defense. On the offensive side, our wide receivers, you know, they have the potential. Give them the opportunity, and I guarantee you, they'll show out. Make the job easier for Jalen Hurts. Again, I understand we possibly may have lost our running back next week, but you can't go away from what works. Run the ball often. Let that set up your pass. I mean, it's not hard things that we're asking you to do. It's doing the basics. It's what you did earlier in the first series of the game. Go back to that and stick with that. I guarantee you, my guy, if you do that, we're going to go far. There's not going to be any issues. You can wear whatever fucking t-shirt you want. You know what I mean? But again, go back to the basics and stay with the basics. Build off the basics, and you won't go wrong. I think we can win next week. Will we? I'm going to have to give it a no. Because, again, the reason why I say is Detroit Lions and how they've played. We've all said it. They've been in every game this season. It's been close. They're playing for their coach. You know, they have something to play for. When you see that coach, you know, how emotional he is about his team. Now, he really wants to put his guys in the best position, and he literally is trying everything he can to put his guys in the best position. As a player, all you can do is show out for your guy, for your coach. So, you know, Detroit's going to come out Sunday. They're going to be hungry. I don't know how hungry Philadelphia is. I don't know what headspace they're in right now. Another player we haven't talked much about was the loss of Lane Johnson. You know, we've missed him for the past 2 weeks. We weren't playing well. We had to move Mailata to the right tackle position, which he's playing out of position. He plays decently, but he's not playing at the best he can be, which is on the left side. And we're left to that because of Andre Diller's deficiencies. So we got to get this together. It's a process, and I understand, but we're 7 weeks in now. This is the time where we start turning things around. Hopefully we can do this in Detroit. Everybody else, my guys, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming through. I appreciate you all. And let everybody know where they can find you. BLSG, let me start off with you.
Yeah, man, it's always a pleasure just to come on and talk with you after these Eagles games. It's a shame I can't do after the 821s because you know how freaking long they take, bro. They take till practically like 11:45 at night to like finish, but it's a pleasure to come on after the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games just to chat it up about the games. It's a shame we couldn't hear an Eagles dub, but hopefully we get one next week in Detroit. Y'all know where to find me, man. BLSG. Search in the search bar, or you can find the name down there. Simple as it is. Find me on Twitter, BLSG20. Give your boy a follow. If you already subscribed to me, appreciate that subscription. And let's hope for a win next week. It's a shame we couldn't come out with a win today, but it is what it is. But it'll always be fly, Eagles fly.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate you. Papa, let them know where they can find you, my guy.
All right, y'all can find me on Twitch and YouTube with the name shown right here. If my fingers will work, right here. I got Vick3. I got basically just told to make a channel. I said screw it, I'll do what Vick3 did and do it. Yeah, always a pleasure to be on here, especially after a loss, because it's about the only thing that gives me life. Yeah, that's about it. Y'all can find me working on setting up some stuff. Might not be fully set up, but there might be a couple of sprinkles of streams on Twitch and all that stuff. And yeah, that's about all I got.
Hey, man, thank you very much. And everybody, if you're listening, yeah, man, go subscribe on Twitch, YouTube. Hit them up on Twitter. All the guys around here, man. Like I said, it's nothing to hit a subscribe button, to hit a like, and to share, because there might not be people that even seen or heard of us, and you might be putting someone on. So, you know what I mean? Just take 2 seconds out your day, hit the subscribe button. Gio, my God, man, I'm so happy you came through. I hope this is not the last time. I hope you come on more. Let everybody know where they can find you, my guy.
Yeah, they could find me on Twitter on Gio from the 215. Excuse my voice, man. I'm just literally had COVID like 10 days ago, man. I just got all over it, so my voice is not a little raspy. They can find me on Twitter, Gio from the 215. They can subscribe to me there. I just made it up honestly to support all these local podcasters, like us fans or whatever. We just want to get in a social group, just talk football for the love of the game. Appreciate you having me on there, Vic. Yeah, and hopefully it is not the last time. Gives us motivation for guys like us that want to make content out there and everything. I do have a YouTube channel. I have nothing on it yet. I'm working on content right now as we speak. So y'all can just follow me on there. YouTube and Twitter. That's it.
Awesome, my guy. Thank you very much. And yeah, man, listen, even if you ain't got no content, go subscribe because this content is about to come soon. So you might as well get prepared for it. Go down there, go like, hit that subscribe for everyone. And you know what I'm saying? Help these guys out. They're just starting out. And, I think it's awesome that, just being on this show makes you want to get out there and do your own thing, man. Anything that I can do to help out, I'm here. And the door is always open, my guy.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, anytime. Jordy, let them know where they can find you, my guy.
Last man up.
So you guys can find me at Jordy Fighter on YouTube, where I host my 3 podcasts for the Celtics, Eagles, and Fighting Irish, where I share the disappointment in the games we play. And, well, this week, coming back from South Bend, I'm kind of jet lagged, so going to be kind of quiet for a while, surprisingly. But let's hope something good happens for Philly. If not, I've got one team to fall back on, at least. So there's that. But you can find me there, and, well, I don't know what else to say. This has just been a crazy week and weekend.
It has. That it is. Everybody, man, appreciate y'all for coming through. Like, you don't understand. Like, when I do this show, like, it's a surprise every week that y'all come in. You know what I mean? Like, it's the post-panel show. I know that. But again, I'm surprised and I'm honored to have you all on, and I appreciate you all, and thank you very much. And, for the guys out there, like I keep on saying, subscribe to everybody. Even if it's not anyone here, if you see a content creator that's just budding, that just coming out, subscribe, step them up. You know what I mean? Hit a like, send a share, help them out. And if you're someone who wants to, be a content creator, by all means, man, don't hide, don't be in the shadows. Get yourself a video camcorder, get yourself a mic or whatever it is, and go out and do your thing. Look at me, look at Papa. We were just fans in the chat all the time, and now we're coming out with our channel because other guys inspired us, just like Gio said. And now we're out there, trying to push out these Eagles, man. And you know who it is, my guy, man. It's Vick3. You catch me in the chats. You can see me on Twitter. You catch me every Saturday night with my guys, Philly Foothills, who was here earlier, and AK Eagles Uncensored, who was here earlier. You always catch us. Those are my guys. I love them to death. And you catch me after every Eagles game here, supported with my guys below me and on the side. You know what I mean? I appreciate you again. Everyone have a great weekend. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough. We're going to have a rough week to think about it. But at the end of the day, man, it's football. It's a game. There's always next Sunday. Any given Sunday, anyone could win. And, I'm going to end it off with Fly, Eagles, Fly. Thank y'all guys again for coming through. Everyone out there, have a great night. And we out.